gamers, and welcome to episode 339 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for August 8th, 2021. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
What's going on is this end of the Olympics, Daniel. As we're recording this is the last day. Closing ceremony is going to be happening.
Oh, I got to check those medal standings, Dominic.
What do you say?
I got to check those medal standings. I was looking at them last night. We're still behind China. Oh, we did it, Dominic. We're ahead of China.
Ahead of China in all medals? I know
all medals.
All medals. We were
gold medals.
How about gold medals?
Yep. We are 39 to 38 in gold medals, 41 to 32 in silver, and 33 to 18 in bronze. We got 113 total.
Yeah, USA, baby. USA.
We're number one at being number one, number two, and number three, Dominic.
Yeah. Love it.
Love to see it.
But yeah, I watched very little of it, though. I looked at highlights, though.
Okay.
I did look at highlights. Like, also, I want to mention Leslie Jones. I like her commentating on things. Like, she posts things on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's on. She probably do other social media too, but that's the only thing I have. And like she's posting like the matches, or like the events and something. And it is funny. It is funny. But I think NBC did go after her, and she says some of her tweets might don't have video because NBC sent something to her. They just cease and desist on doing that stuff because NBC technically they have. Well, I don't know. I don't think she's still on SNL anymore. I know she does that supermarket show, shopping spree show on ABC.
Like Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so, yeah. I did see a commercial for that, I think.
Yeah, I believe she's the host. So I understand, but I don't care. That's like, darn, she's giving you free publicity.
Right.
So, but it is hilarious. What she watched, and I believe Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, actually on Peacock, they have like little commentary on events and stuff too. Okay. And I watched only seen one of them, and it was pretty funny. They were talking about the horse dancing one, whatever they do,
dressage.
And I like how Snoop said, "Oh man, a horse crip walking." That man crip walking. He said, I gotta get in one of my videos. I said, "Oh man, it was pretty funny." I mean, I'm sure a lot of them probably funny. I had to look them up, but that was entertaining. What I watched, the most I watched was the women's basketball, the finals, because my sister was over here and she was watching, so I was watching it, and they beat up on China. I mean, Brittany Griner. I mean, she is one of the best NBA players, WNBA players in college too. Mm-hmm. She is just so tall. I mean, there was nobody in China, I think, even close to her height. So they just kept passing it to her, and she just get in there. And I think I don't know what she ended up finishing with. I know at one point she had 28, I think, in the third quarter. So I don't know what she ended up finishing with. But yeah, I mean, but China still it's like they always stay within 9, and not until I think like the late third quarter and fourth quarter, America start running away with it. Mm-hmm. But like China, they couldn't pull out to do a blowout early, put it like that.
Right.
And then in the USA men, I didn't watch it, but they won after people kept thinking, "Oh man, we're not going to win gold this year because this team is not good." And thing is, I don't think the team is that good. I mean, those players on the team are awesome. I just think that they didn't play enough together to be in sync. Right. So that's why we had lost a lot of those exhibition games. Not a lot. I say a lot, but we lost some exhibition games that you would think like we wouldn't lose because these guys didn't really have this team all together, and they just finished the season of NBA. I mean, the NBA. They didn't really practice together for long minutes of time, so I understand that. But they came through. It was a close game with France, but they came through, and they won. And I mean, it's a combination of them not being in sync, and also the world is getting better. I mean, you see the NBA, you see a lot of people from other countries, so they're getting better also. But the USA still came out number one, so I'm happy on that. You know what? It's so funny because when LeBron was on the USA team, I think I actually like I kind of want them to lose, even though I was in America. I felt bad for that too. I said, damn, do I hate him that much? I said, do I hate him that much? And then when like Kobe's up there, because I was a Laker hater, so I was like, oh, it's Kobe and LeBron. Actually, I didn't wasn't hating LeBron. Actually, then I don't think I was hating LeBron at that time when he first came on and Kobe was there. Oh no, that wasn't LeBron's first time. I believe that because he was there when they got bronze, but it was when Kobe came, like Kobe, because I was a Laker hater. So, oh man, I was happy when you didn't come to this stuff like this now. But then I was like, it's USA, man. I gotta root for USA. I gotta root for them. I can't be so hateful that I can't root for the home country.
Exactly.
All right.
Take some pride, Dominic.
Yeah. And we did good in track and field. I saw like the 4x400 relay of the men's and women's. I mean, as a lot of things I didn't see, I watched some of those synchronized swimming. Okay. I saw clips of it, I should say. Mm-hmm. And man, that's just a show to me. Like, I enjoy watching it, but I was like, I don't know how the fuck you score this shit. Yeah. Like, I don't. Right. The way I would score is like, did somebody drown? This is or somebody stay in the water too long.
In sync enough, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly.
They were 0.000 seconds behind each other, and I could see it with the human eye, and I was just like disgusted with them.
It's just a nice show just to watch. It's like, yo, this is pretty good. It just looks so great how these women are just so great at this. There isn't a men's synchronized swimming, is there? I've never seen that in my life.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those like pommel horse versus like vaulting type things where they're like, oh, we've got like water polo or something, so we don't do synchronized swimming because we're men.
Oh, but there's women's water polo.
Okay, well, there's something else.
Yeah.
It's men just fucking water strong arming or something. I don't know.
Whatever they say, like, we ain't dancers. But now come on. It's a new day and age. Exactly. I'm surprised somebody ain't saying like, hey, I want to dance in the water. They say.
They should just have intergender synchronicities.
Hey, they start doing that. I mean, you saw that 3-on-3 basketball. Like, what the hell? And then that was intergendered. I said intergendered, and I was like, oh, okay, this is different. I watched some skateboarding because that was like the first events, basically, and I was like, I'm gonna watch some Olympics, and that's the first thing I saw was skateboarding, and I saw God fall, and I'm not ashamed that I say that I laughed. but no, I mean he looked okay. That's why I laughed. But I heard that for the women's, they were young, like I forgot what the age was. I know one of them was from another country. I don't know, probably both of them were, but I'm not sure. But I think it's somebody joked this. There was a joke like, "Hey, did she even know who Tony Hawk is? Like, did she own up?" I was like, "He's still famous." It's like, yeah. Like I still think that'd be like the biggest name you know.
Absolutely,
no matter what. Like, all right, because Tony Hawk, I believe he was there. Yeah.
Oh, was he?
I believe he was. I think he was, but I heard him talking.
Yeah, where?
Maybe, yeah, because, I mean, there's limited people that can there. But, the awful thing.
13 years old, Dominic.
And what was another girl a young age who got a medal?
Yeah, let's see.
Like, maybe she got silver or bronze? I don't know.
19.
Or a different event.
That dude's 22. 18. Oh, she's got to be young. How old is she? 13, another one from Brazil.
13.
Goddamn, the two top women's street skaters were both 13. One from Japan and one from Brazil.
Oh, okay.
16. Yeah. The other girl.
I think there's the Brazilian one that I saw a picture of her next to Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, he looks so giant over her. I was like, darn. I was like, God, that girl's 13. It's like, good for her, man.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's darn. It took forever for skateboarding company. Snowboarding came to goddamn Winter Olympics.
That's because snowboarding's for the rich, Dominic. Street skating's just those grimy
that's what I'm
punk
saying.
kids.
Like, I mean, it's pretty good Olympics. I mean, I also, what is her? Was she a shot putter? This big woman. I think she only won silver though, but she's looked like the Hulk. Like, man, she's a big girl, and man, but she got the energy too. She tweeted something, I forgot. It was pretty funny, but yeah, I was like, yeah, good for you. I said, Darren, I wish she would have won gold.
Is she the one that turned her back on the national anthem or whatever?
I don't know. I didn't hear that story.
There was, I think it was that woman that, I don't know what did she do? She did something while she was on the podium when they were playing the national anthem for her in protest.
Oh, okay. All right. I ain't gonna get mad at that.
Nope.
Yes, it's ungrateful to turn your back on the national anthem. Yeah, of course. Are you black or what are you? White? Of course. Yes, of course you are. Yeah. Whatever. But hey, good week. I hope people enjoyed it. I know they said the ratings were down, which I suspected too, but I think a lot of people were watching clips too. Mm-hmm. I think Olympics is trending big still because the way people watch content now is so different.
Yeah,
like
it's so much more digestible in clip form. Like I get to see all the best stuff real quick. I don't have to sit through 10 hours of Bob Costas talking about some dumb shit.
Exactly, or like in between, like events. Like sometimes you got that downtime. I was oh god, because I gotta wait for this.
Here's a new fun fact about Lithuania.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the bad thing was that how hot it was, and after that, people did like the marathon run, whatever. I forgot what it is. What's called, but like the woman, she was literally crawling.
Oh my god!
And it took so long for the people to come up with water. I was thinking, like, are they thinking she's just
emotional?
What do they think she's doing?
Yeah. Good lord.
Because she was like, yeah, she was just out, and like everybody was like that because people pulled out while during the run because it was just so hot. But she was like calling for water, but it took forever. I was thinking like there should be somebody right there at the finish line, just wanting to get water. I was like, yo, are y'all really doing that social distancing thing where you gotta get the water, man, like to be a mile away?
Fucking get her a squirt gun then. Do something.
I was like, God, Jesus Christ. I was like, that doesn't really make any damn sense. And then, like, it took forever. Then the people behind her took forever to get to them, too. I'm thinking, like, I think after you seen this woman fall, you're going to suspect the other people are going to probably do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
It's like... And then my sister was telling me about how the sand was so hot for beach volleyball. They did wet it at the beginning, but she said, why didn't it continue wetting it? Because it's so hot, it's going to evaporate. So...
Right.
Like, to keep it cool. Yeah, but they got through it.
Yeah, you gotta get those calluses on the bottom of your feet.
I mean...
120.
I've been on the beach when it's been hot, and it probably wasn't as hot, nowhere near as hot as it was there. It was, it'd be warm, and I'd be like, God damn, the sand. It was like, get the hell out of here.
This highlights thing I just saw is 120 degrees. Like, that's not normal. You can't touch that. Give me some artificial cooling sand.
Oh, play at night.
There you go.
And put some lights on.
Then they wouldn't need those cool shades, though, Dominic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have cool shades. All right. So, what we got? Moving on. Quickly go through sports. NBA had a lot of trades going on. I'm just going to talk about the biggest one for me is the Wizards giving up Russell Westbrook to... the hated and most despised team, the Los Angeles Lakers. Which I mean, it's really just hated and despised by me, but and Boston fans. So I was upset, and then I heard Carmelo Anthony is also going to the Lakers.
What?
And I was like, oh, my heart.
That's wild.
So my heart. I said, oh.
I didn't hear about that one.
They had to get my blood pressure medicine because it just went up way high. And then, but now, you know what, Daniel? I told my friend, I said, I think I'm going to do something I haven't done ever.
Root for the Lakers?
I might be rooting for the Lakers just for Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook to get a ring.
You always said he deserved better, Dominic.
He did.
He's with the best now.
Yep, both of them did. Because Westbrook, man, he's a triple-double fiend, man, and people just don't respect him for that. They say, oh, it don't mean nothing. I said, oh, my God. You know, I don't care if people, like some people say, oh, some people just let him get a rebound. I said, okay, fine. Okay. It does. I see the tapes. Like some people, like if they can easily get the rebound, they just let him get it. But I'm just saying, but he has done it so more than anybody else. I mean, for you to even get to that point where you can get a triple-double all the time is just amazing. So I'm sorry, you're just hating. You're just hating. Just like how I hate on LeBron, basically, for no reason. You're just hating on Westbrook. So he deserves it. Carmelo, he's been through a lot. I mean, what I have against him is that he don't play defense. And also he says stop snitching. It's like I'm not against him. I'm not. I'm semi against. He apologized for that. I'm not mad. That's what my dad holds that. He just don't like him no more just because of that stop snitching video, man. Yeah. And like he will not let that go. So, but yeah, if they get a ring with the Lakers, I know some people are gonna say, man, they don't count. They just built this team, but it's old players though. Because like Carmelo's not the same what he used to be. LeBron is really not the same he used to be. He's still great. But he's not the same. Really, it's up to Anthony Davis to be healthy for the Lakers to do anything. So it's really, if Anthony Davis gets hurt, even with this team, because they still don't have all their pieces yet, I don't think they'll win. Like, if Anthony Davis don't play, I don't think they win. So they need everybody to be healthy for the playoffs for them to win. And if it is, I'm not going to get as mad if they win. Well, put it like this. I'll be happy that Westbrook and Carmelo got a ring, and then with LeBron, I say, well, you couldn't win. You couldn't win without them because they came on the team. That's why you won a Mickey Mouse ring, and then you couldn't really in your real ring with the Lakers. You couldn't win because you're lucky that you had Westbrook and Carmelo on the team. Yeah. That's what I would say. That's how I justify it, Daniel. Already got my hate speech ready for LeBron. All right. So the Wizards, they did pick up some players. Kuzma from the Lakers. Who else was there? There's Caldwell Pope. And they picked up I think he's a shooting guard, D. Whittle or something like that from the Brooklyn Nets. He's pretty good too. So we still have Bradley Beal on the team. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I want him to stay because just to have a great player on the team, but I also want him to have a chance to win a ring. And it ain't going to be here. Not at least not now. At least not now. So I hope he finds a good team. If he goes to a team, I hope he finds a good team. That they will have a chance to win. I think that's what they're really trying to do too for him. I don't think they're trying to send him somewhere bad, but they're trying to get something good too for him because he's a great player. All right. So another thing. Oh yeah, the Orioles had their Hall of Fame, like the O's Hall of Fame, yesterday, Saturday, and they got Mike Devereaux, used to be an outfielder for the Orioles, and they had J.J. Hardy, who was shortstop for the Orioles for years. That's the one I really know because he's been more recent. He's been a great player for the Orioles. His career was like pretty much cut short, but he's been great for the Orioles. He's awesome defensively for the Orioles. And announcer Joe Angel for the Orioles, the radio announcer, who is just, like this. When I think of Orioles, like as far as Oriole calls, I think of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I just remember, because my dad used to listen to radio all the time. So if I'm in the car with him and the O's or something on, he'll turn on, and I just know that voice of Joe Angel. I just know Joe Angel's voice. And like, I didn't even know his name as a kid. Like, I didn't remember people like those people like that names. Then later on, I got older because he had left. And then when I got back into like an O's again, he had came back. I think he was with the Giants for a while. So he stayed with Black and Orange. He stayed with Black and Orange, which is funny. So he came back to the O's, and then I was like, "Hey, it's that guy." Oh, I didn't hear him for a while. I said, "This sounds different from another guy." Then I looked his name up. Then I saw the years he worked there, and I said, "Oh, okay, that was the guy I was listening to when I was a kid, Joe Angel." And I love him because he always says the Orioles are in the win column when they win at the end. And he always said like those, just see those lovely totals or something like that at the end. He always had those nice sayings when the home run happened, like "Hasta la vista, no way," or something like that. Yeah, the guy is great. Like, he's a great voice. I'm so sad to hear him retire. But hey, but I'm happy for him. Happy for the career he had.
Absolutely.
And also, last but not least, Bo Gaba, who was a 14-year-old kid who's like a super fan of Baltimore. Like, he's like, they call him Baltimore super fan because you always see him with Ravens games and Oriole games, and like he's always meeting with the players and things of that nature. And he had cancer. What kind of cancer he had?
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I know, but it was pretty severe. He had it since he was 9 months old.
It's crazy.
But hey, man, it's just incredible that he lived to be 14. But I remember seeing him from like the last few years. Like, I see him at Ravens games or something like that. I see him at Orioles games, like they showed him. And yeah, and then he just passed away last year in July, unfortunately. But his mom was there to receive the award. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and yeah, they show highlights and stuff from everybody and what they did and everything. Yeah, it was a nice event. Just bad that the worst thing about that day was just the Orioles had to play also at that event, and
yeah,
they got their asses whooped.
Real
They
bad.
just killed the moment. So you just killed the moment, you sons of bitches.
None of these guys are going into the Hall of Fame, that's for sure.
Well, they probably go to the Hall of Fame another team. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, over there, they could become great.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that's pretty much it for sports. I mean, you got the preseason's about to start up. I mean, technically, you had the Cowboys play Steelers. I think the Cowboys lost, but, wins and losses don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But it was like the Hall of Fame game, I believe, and I didn't watch it. But I haven't been paying attention really to football yet. Not too close. Oh, but I will say this. Hey, the Washington team is, I believe, is up over 85% in being vaccinated, Daniel.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
I jumped.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess they saw the bad press of them being like one of the worst ones. I don't know what Indianapolis did, but I don't care about them. They go, oh, yeah, I hope they. Well, we don't play them, so it doesn't matter. I wish other teams were not vaccinated so we could get forfeit games.
Yeah,
so we can win. All right. So, what we got here? Let's go to what we've been watching. So, you want to start?
Sure.
Or I start?
Yeah, I can start it off because I picked back up Apple TV Plus because Target was having a thing. Like, if you're part of the Target Circle thing, which is like their rewards kind of whatever, you could get like 4 months free of Apple TV Plus. So I was like, all right.
Can you share that?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. I'll let you know.
Yeah, because I want to share that.
Yeah, and Ted Lasso season 2 just started up like 3 weeks ago now. I think this week's was the 3rd episode. And Mythic Quest had already done their season 2, so that was fully up there now. I've watched, I think, 6 or 7 episodes of Mythic Quest season 2. So far, I'm still enjoying that show. It's stupid. It's not great, but it's all right. It's a fun time. There's
it's
a couple.
Stupid.
What's that?
That's a compliment.
For a comedy, yes, I'm gonna say.
Okay.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Is like it's all right. It's not the greatest show, but it's fun. For the most part. There is like they did this with the last season too, where there's like this just one episode that kind of takes you back in time and tries to like explain the origins of something. And in this one, it's like the origin story of the writer, who's the older gentleman on the team, who's just like an old sci-fi writer that they brought on. And they go back in time and kind of explain his origin story. And then the following episode kind of reconnects him with one of the guys from that story. And those episodes don't hit very well for me. Like, I enjoy the workplace, video game company aspects of the rest of it, but that kind of takes you out of it. Mostly it's all right though. It is funny. It's a funny show. And then as far as Ted Lasso, season 2 started out okay. Like, the first episode didn't really impress me too much. It wasn't particularly heartwarming in the way that season 1 was, and also wasn't, particularly smart or anything. This latest episode, though, very much got back to I don't want to say sappy, because that sounds derogatory, but like the very heartwarming, makes you feel good about the show.
Which episode is
this? I think this is 3.
Okay.
And basically, it's the story of one of the players who, in the first season, was kind of finding his own. He's now like the head of the team, and their publicist got him a spot on the cover of like Dubai Air's magazine or something like that. And Dubai Air is their sponsor as well. So like on their kits, as they call them, their jerseys, they've got Dubai Air on there. And he's from Nigeria, and then his dad, he's like, "Hey dad, I got this cover," and he's all excited. And then his dad's like, "Oh, let me tell you about this stuff that Dubai Air's parent company is doing in Nigeria and how they're ruining our lives and everything." So it was a story of him like trying to get off the magazine and basically like confronting his feelings about Dubai Air being the sponsor of the team and whatnot. But that was very sweet. I enjoyed that episode a lot. So it's coming back around. I'm sure if I go back now to the first season, it probably took an episode or 2 to kind of find its feet too. For that, I had the benefit of just being able to binge watch that entire thing because they were all out. And this does, that kind of like weekly release thing. It doesn't do the Netflix model of just dropping everything at once and binge watching.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying those two. There's a new show with Joseph Gordon-Levitt on there that started, I think, this past week. He's like a teacher and like a music teacher or something. So I'm going to check that out, I think. I saw somewhere that said it's pretty good. So I'm going to check it out.
Hopefully he explains on there what they're doing with the Beyond Good and Evil.
No, it definitely does not, Dominic. I think you might get more answers out of Mythic Quest on what's going on with Beyond Good and Evil. It's like, it's just a group of fuck-ups. That's why. Yeah, we're never going to find anything about that. And I feel like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is just completely forgotten about whatever that whole thing was. And that he was I'm just going to go back to acting. People got mad at me when I tried to work on video games, so I'm just gonna ignore that. So yeah, and then the other 2 things we both watched. So what else have you been watching, Dominic?
All right, I'm going to mention it. I did watch this show called P-Valley. Mm-hmm. Which stands for, this is not meant for kids anyway, even though I wouldn't mind kids listen to it, whatever. But anyway, it stands for Pussy Valley, because it's a part of, I think, Mississippi, like where there's strip clubs and stuff, like a run of strip clubs. So it's about a strip club, a Pacific strip club called The Pink, which is owned by a black man who happens to be, he's a homosexual. I don't know, even though sometimes they call him she. But not all the time.
Interesting.
So, but I think he still identifies as a man. So, but he is funny. Like, he is. I ain't say he is the show, but like, he is hilarious. I love him. It's a good drama though. Like, of course he knows about sex. I mean, sex is actually no. That's a lie. Sex is not the biggest thing of the show. That's actually what it is. I mean, of course you're going to see a lot of naked girls and stuff, but the story is actually pretty good. I mean, it deals with the girl doing. I think it was the Houston when they had the hurricane, because I know it wasn't Katrina. It's not that far back, so it must have been one of those other hurricanes or events that happen around that area. Because I don't know where she's from. I don't remember. But I want to say it maybe it was Houston or something. But anyway, she got in, like, she's just came out of that. And then as the story goes on, you find out she lost a child in there. But she also just went for a new identity. Like, she found this suitcase, and she found, like, this person's wallet or something that it sort of she can make herself look like it. And she just went with that. Like, she wanted to live life. And, like, you don't know why, but as the story goes on, you'll learn why. And then that's when she went to the strip club to work. Like, she went to the amateur hour thing they do, where they have people out there, like, dancing and doing things on the stage just to win some money. And, like, you just win some money. And she did that. She won, but then she asked for a job. So I'm working there, and it's a lot of drama, things in nature. So for, like, not just her, but it's other characters there, too. You got the one stripper who's about to retire, basically, and because she was trying to get time with her daughter, because she had to give her daughter up because of what she do. She couldn't really take care of her. And she got issue with her mother. Her mother, she works at a church. She makes her always feel guilty for what she does. And you have another woman who's dealing with being abused at home. But she looks like she had a lot of things going for her, probably. And yeah, it has a lot of different storylines to it. And it deals with also about this development around the city that's going to probably not be great for the folks there. Like, this casino's coming in, and it's not really going to really help a lot of the folks there, and it's going to shut some places down. So yeah, it's good though. Like, the story, like, that's what kept me going. It's like, that story was good. Because listen, the stuff seeing naked women, I mean, I'm kind of past. Hey, I mean, look, I don't mind seeing it. They're good looking, yeah, but they ain't gonna keep me there too long.
Right.
That can get old fast if the show's not good. So the story has to keep me coming back, and it does. And it does. And I think it's really good. It deals with a lot of stuff. It deals with homophobia, you know. It deals with also like some little colorism, but not really. Because I read somebody say it's a colorism, and I know what they're talking about, but it didn't seem like it was that strong. But yeah, it's the show. It's pretty good. Like, if you can check it out, go ahead. It is on, I think, Stars.
Oh, okay.
Is it Star? I think it's Stars. I think it's the same place where the Power is. Power. That show, which I know a lot of my people watch it. I mean, people I know, not I don't mean black people, but that is true. But they watch it, but I have not. I only watched like the first episode. I mean, I always say, like, you know, I'm gonna check it out since everybody's seen this. I gotta check it out, and it seemed like it's okay, but I just never did watch Power. Also, I finished off Ozark season 3. I mentioned Ozark before. I watched the other 2 seasons. Season 3, I finally got to. I think it actually came out last year, I want to say. And it was pretty good. And I think the young woman on here, she did win an Emmy for it. And yeah, I mean, I always liked the character. And yeah, it reminds me of Breaking Bad. Like, shit's pretty much hitting the fan this time too. And it's a good story. It's a good story of, you know, the crime drama, dealing cartels and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty sad too. Like, it got like it got really dark. It got really dark. It gets dark, but it's entertaining. If you like those kind of storylines, it's very entertaining. And yeah, except for now, I guess we got the next 2 that we both watched. So you want to start off with Batman?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, how you like Batman? Batman, The Long Halloween Part 2.
Yeah, so it's continuation of the first one, which I was glad to finally get some, you know, it hadn't been that long since the first one, watching that one for me, so it wasn't like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen next? But I was excited to see where it went, because the first one is very kind of slow in plotting, in that way. Like, it doesn't have a resolution, really. It just kind of ends.
Yes, I did. I wanted that guy to die. That dirty mobster, the mobster's son.
Yeah.
I didn't like him. Sorry,
he's a little creepy.
I was just but he is. Now that I know what he did, I mean, it's not totally his fault, but he went along with it.
Yeah. He let it happen, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get that resolution in this. You also see, basically all the fan favorites. You see the Joker again. You see Poison Ivy this time. You even see the Penguin a little bit. He's kind of in there, as well as like Mad Hatter and some other ones. Solomon Grundy. I think he was in the first one, though, right?
Yeah, Solomon Grundy was in the first one.
So you see all those characters. Still looks incredible. I think especially like that kind of opening bit when you have Catwoman saving Bruce Wayne from what's her name? Poison Ivy. And just the way that they have like Catwoman moving in silhouette almost, like you only really see like the highlights on her costume, I think is really cool visually. I think like their people design, like the faces of like Bruce Wayne and whatnot, I don't really like that much. But once they get into character, I think they look really good. Like Batman, I think looks really good, but Bruce Wayne kind of looks weird. Like he's heavy on the eyeliner or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And just like his face is weirdly slim, like almost kind of anime-ish. Yeah, but overall, like the story-wise, I'm a little confused, to be honest, by the ending. Kind of like once things wrap up and there's like the addendum to it where it's just like the explanation of what happened there, and we can get into that, I guess, if we do a little bit of spoilery stuff. But I think overall I really liked it. It was very satisfying, a good story. They didn't, and maybe that's part of it, is like they're showing his progression as a character, but I liked in the first one where it was like Batman is obviously very early in his career because he's not a very good detective. The world's greatest detective is not a very good detective in the first one, and they play on that. And then this one, they don't really go into that at all, but he does like figure out these mysteries a little bit. So maybe that's what they're trying to imply, that he has, over the course of this year that he's been dealing with this case, that he's kind of developed some skills a little more, So what'd you think, Dominic?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was great. Yes, and I agree with you with the ending. Mm-hmm. But once I just like sat down and like really looked it up and stuff, I mean, I understand now. But yeah, it was a little like confusing. I wish it was a better way to get it to it. But it is somebody who I thought possibly could be it. Mm-hmm. Like at some point, because at some point I said the guy who I thought it was. And yeah, so I mean, okay, we don't get into spoilers now, man. I liked it. So yeah, being his wife, Harvey's wife, because after a while, I'll say, okay, it's getting a little too obvious now that it's Harvey. I said, there's gonna be a twist. I said, it's gotta be maybe it's the wife, because I still never got why she acts the way she does. Because I was like, okay, Harvey's not. I don't think he gets aggressive with her. So I don't think it's him that she's scared of. Mm-hmm. She's just like that. And is it hers hiding something? And so she's her being the actual killer, the holiday killer. And I mean, that was a good twist. But yeah, the explanation of why. But I mean, I understand, man. Well, the explanation is that she was with the Falcone's son, and they were supposed to get married. She was with child, but he said he can't be with her. And
right, because basically it was because they were having the baby before wedlock.
Before,
right?
Yeah, I guess he's really like, because I mean, I know they big on Catholic, but I just think like, oh well, just be one of other sins, just like you killing people. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you just go to the priest or whatever and just do the Hail Mary shit? I don't know, man. So yeah, I was thinking like that is I don't know. Like I felt like there could have been something better. Like maybe she was a certain, like maybe some about race or something. I mean, she's white, but I'm saying like maybe she's I don't know what
she's
what
not
they don't
Italian like. Or whatever.
They say she's Greek or something like that. Oh, she's from another mob family, or something like that they don't like.
Yeah.
So, but that was a little weird to me. I didn't know that was like a huge deal. That'll be a deal breaker.
Yeah. Especially because like he proposed like the day they found out. So like you could just get married and then like nobody's really going to do the timeline at all.
Exactly.
Be like, wait a second,
So,
9 months ago was not the day after you got married. It was the day before you got married. How dare you?
So, and I thought it was only after you had the baby. So they could have just got married before she had it.
Exactly.
But they said it tore her baby from. I want to know, did they literally?
Oh, they got
force
some
it
mob
out of her?
doctor to perform an abortion on her, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Might
Okay,
even
that's what
been
I'm
Bruce
thinking.
Wayne's dad.
Oh God. So that was like, oh yeah, so that's horrible shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's made her go. She wanted to go after them. That's what she went with Hart. She been with Hart because he's the kind of guy for justice and stuff. So she's like, he could possibly go after her, but he had his own demons, which is himself. But an overall show, yeah, I like how Two-Face, I like how he came to be. I like how he went to Arkham and locked everybody except for Calendar Man because he chose the wrong side of the coin. He said heads. I meant heads. I was like, oh man, it's a two-sided coin. All you said was heads. And like, yeah, I guess everybody else said heads and got out. And then, and wait a minute, I forgot. Somebody spoke for Calendar Man that I know.
Oh, it was, shoot. I just saw it earlier, too.
David Dastmalchian?
Yeah, so
I know his face.
Yeah, he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's also in Suicide Squad as Polka Dot Man.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, he stays with comic books.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, yeah, there's some, like, famous voices. I mean, there's some people, plus known voice actors, but the voice talent was good in this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, oh, man, I was sad that the Falcone's daughter died. I didn't want her to die.
The big lady.
I like that. I like how she's a big woman. Like, she's a beast.
She was a Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm trying to remember because I haven't watched it in like 3 weeks. What else happened? You probably remember more than I do.
Well,
like, what did you like?
To get back to the ending part, like, so that's what I didn't understand. Was she Holiday, or was she using his, like, because it seems like Harvey's got a split personality before he becomes Two-Face. So, like, was she utilizing that to have him kill these people without him really realizing it? That's what I was maybe getting from it.
Oh, I just assumed that she just was a killer.
Because, those times that they show, like, their face, obviously it's covered with a bandana or whatever, but it had a very masculine eye set that she didn't really have. Now, obviously, like, at the end there, she kills Falcone because Two-Face is there, and he drops the gun and then someone else kills Falcone. But that's kind of what I was getting from it. But that's why I'm confused
she could have just been the one to do the Falcone.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe she used him in like his whatever his mental deterioration state was. And I don't know if that has anything to do with her fears. Obviously she had, her situation with the Falcone family. But maybe that could be that she knows that, he's deteriorating, and while she was able to kind of control it at one point, at some point she lost control of that. So now she's, kind of afraid of which Harvey she's going to see, whether it's going to be Jekyll or Hyde,
Oh, you know what? That could be, yeah. Now
this is based on a comic, right? Like, now I want to go back and read that and see if maybe they explain it.
Yeah, is it? And I wonder if they stay true to it, because some of the shows, I think it was the one Hush wasn't what you thought it was.
Oh, okay.
Because if you know Hush from the comics, you thought it was like his old friend, but Hush turned out to be Nigma.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they did something here like that.
Yeah.
So I never read the comic. Anything else you want to say about the movie? Like anything else you enjoyed?
No, just overall, I think it was really well done. I think it's very good. So I look forward to more of these. Excuse me.
Yeah, this was great. Did you watch the after the credits?
Was there an after the credits thing? I was thinking about that as I was talking about like the end of it, like the epilogue stuff. But no, I didn't. What did they do?
There was the doorbell rang for like Halloween, and Alfred went to the door, and he looked. You didn't see who it was, and Alfred said, "It's for you, sir." And then you see it's I think it's Green Arrow and the Flash.
Oh,
at the door.
Okay, interesting.
All right, so now we can talk about the big movie that came out this week, Suicide Squad. Yeah. So, how'd you like it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I had a good time with it. I think you and I are both pretty positive on the original Suicide Squad. Like, it wasn't obviously not the best movie, but out of all the DC movies that had come out at the time, I think it was one of the more enjoyable ones. And I think this takes that framework and improves upon it in most ways.
Yeah, probably every way.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree. Like,
unless we get the cut. Apparently, there's whatever that director was from the first one cut.
The David Ayer cut.
Yeah, somebody said they had some great scenes. I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
But they said was it whatchamacallit? The guy who played the Joker said that?
Oh, Jared Leto, was it? I think he was supposed to be in it more before they did what they did to it. But yeah, I mean, that movie it definitely screams of studio involvement, because at least what we heard about it, which was basically they put out that first trailer that was kind of on the lighter, more comedic side, and then the studio said, oh shit, your really dark movie doesn't fit what people are liking about this trailer. We should make it more of that. Whereas this is organically that from the beginning, right? Like even just hiring a director like James Gunn, that's what you're going for. Like you see it in his previous movies, especially something like a Guardians of the Galaxy. There's kind of a direct lineage to a group team up movie with different characters, opposing characters in a similar fashion. But I think they did a good job in this of not just making this into Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's its own very distinct thing, and it's a lot of fun. I thought it was very good. And like you said, it improves on that original movie in most ways. And I think including the way it uses music, because that first one was very much like weirdly distinct sections with very like almost obvious soundtrack cues where it's like, okay, this song is going to play and we're going to do this scene. And you have a similar thing in this movie where there's a lot of music used, because very much similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. But I like the way that it turns from like this music cue to something diegetic where it is in that environment. Like it's something that they're listening to on the radio, and it's almost uses like a transition thing instead of just this weirdly like, here's this cut up piece of this movie that we're kind of stitching together.
And it makes sense.
Like.
I mean, like you listen to the songs, they make sense to what's happening.
That's also true, because that first one was just like, hey, that popular thing you've heard of, here it is. Whereas this is, like you said, much
it
more.
Didn't really make sense with the scene. Yeah, I really enjoyed this too. Like this is probably one of my favorite DC movies. I mean, this was fun from beginning to end. All the guys were great in this. The story was great. What they did. the only thing is this is a personal thing. It's not about the movie really. Is that I kind of wish certain people didn't die, but maybe they didn't. Shit, it's like a comic book. Maybe they didn't die. Yeah. You know, shit.
They'll find a way to bring them back,
those people, especially the guy who died near the end, he's died a few times in the comics and came back.
No, really? Okay.
So, but yeah, and the big Starro, because we've seen it in previews, so it's not a spoiler. Seeing that was good. That was good how they made him make Starro or her or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. Starro was always a funny looking villain. Like it's weird. Like it's like, oh, what is this, a big giant starfish? So what the hell is this? Yeah. But they made it like it's one of the most dangerous ones. Like it's one of the top villains because it's like you're just fucked. Like if you get on your face, you're fucked. It's over. Yeah. Like I forgot how they got it to a point where he falls off. I don't know if it was that they killed him. If you kill or like hurt Starro to a point where it will just fall to people's faces where it won't injure them, but I think that's what it was, that if it got on your face, you couldn't get off. I just think when the heroes got it on their face, somehow magic got them. I don't know.
Yeah, they're superheroes.
But, yeah, exactly. I feel like as regular people got it on your face, it's like, oh, they're dead. It's like you can't do anything. But yeah, this movie was great. I mean, yeah, it had that vibe just like Guardians of the Galaxy. But this is hilarious. This is hilarious. John Cena was funny.
Oh yeah,
I love the rat catcher too.
Mm-hmm. She was very good.
And her and what's his name? Sebastian the rat.
Yep.
And I mean, you know what? Even though what is his name? I was gonna say Deadpool. Bloodsport. He is basically the bullseye. Well, I said bullseye. I mean, yeah. He's basically
absolutely.
him.
100%.
Because he has a daughter.
Yep.
He has a daughter too. Like it's just like whatchamacallit did in the Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but he's good. I mean, he was good, and I'm actually happy they didn't make him American. I'm like, yeah, I say just let him use his accent. Like, why does he have to use a black? He don't have to use a black accent. And they let him use accent. I mean, he did use it also in that Shaw movie too. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's because he don't need to be Americanized or anything. Yeah. But yeah, so Polka Dot Man, yeah, that is hilarious. Okay, we don't get into spoilers. Yeah, I like in Polka Dot Man, him saying that. I don't like killing, but it makes it easy to kill if I think of my mother. And then you just see his mother and people when he looks.
Even King Shark, they made into his mother, like chasing after the butterfly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. King Shark, or what's his name? Nueve or Nuava, or something like that.
I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember.
But yeah, he's hilarious, and I did not know Sylvester Stallone spoke for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they just doing a Groot thing, I guess.
Pretty much.
Which I just don't understand. I never get, because I'm like, y'all can get anybody.
Yeah.
Is there a deal made that in big budget movies you can't get regular voice actors?
Yes. I honestly, you know what? I don't know if they're not part of the Screen Actors Guild, but I think most of them are, right?
I thought they were.
Yeah. I mean, because I know there is a voice actors guild also, so maybe there's like some of those people that we think of that are big names aren't part of the Screen Actors Guild. They're only part of the Voice Actors Guild. But that's the only thing I could think. I mean, you know, it's just another name to put on the poster and say like a Sylvester Stallone's in this movie, even though I don't know how many people are looking at a poster going like, oh boy, I want to see Sylvester Stallone in 2021, you know?
Yeah. Well, what we got here, like, all the people just dying in the beginning was funny.
Yes.
And the guy just running, like, the thing he's gonna be a badass, he just crying, he ran to the water. Ah! And the rat, the weasel, that weasel character drowning, that was hilarious.
Did anybody check to see if the weasel could swim?
Then he lives at the end, like you see in one of those, like, kind of not really post credits, but like middle credits, whatever. Yeah. Him popping up, still alive. But I was surprised they killed Boomerang.
I was too. I was very surprised that they killed him and almost immediately as part of that whole thing.
When I saw him die, I said, "Oh shit! I think Rick Flag about to die." Well, he did, and like near the end, but I don't know.
A while.
But cause I was mad. I thought I was gonna see Rick Flag on that tape because I look and say, "Is that Rick Flag?" I say, "That's John Cena. That's some bullshit." I was like, "Why are they gonna bring him back and not Rick Flag?"
They got a show coming, Dominic. They're already filming.
Yeah,
it.
Apparently that's what I read. I didn't know that. I'm glad. See, that's why I'm glad I don't read spoilers. I mean, not spoilers, but like all these future shows is happening because that would have just told me that he's not gonna die. And but then
I knew about that, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be like this is a prequel thing, but I was hoping it wouldn't be because like we just saw it with Black Widow where it's like, yeah, it's cool that we like this character or whatever, even though by the end of that movie we don't necessarily like John Cena's character, but it makes it less impactful. Like all the things that you did, I know what your final act is, so I don't care as much about the series.
His character though was great, like Peacemaker, that he will kill any amount of people, men, women, or children to achieve peace. Yeah, yes, and I like when they were all trying to save Harley Quinn, even though they didn't really shouldn't be saving. But how he was set up and said, "I got one person and the office," something like that. It was just like the secretary.
Yeah, just a secretary or maid or something.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus. I said, what? You just go like she wasn't going to be a threat. Like, he just
anything for peace, Dominic. He would eat all the dicks on the beach if it just meant
exactly.
he could get peace.
Yeah, that was fun. And him wearing those tidy whities like he's sleeping, just coming out.
He just wanted to kill King Shark. He was like, can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Yeah. The writing in this was
King Shark
good.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him just, I mean, he was dumb, but he was funny. He was funny. You talking about num. It's like, you know, it was great. I mean, this movie, it was fun. Yeah, it definitely was fun. Harley Quinn, of course, she was great.
Yeah, and she plays kind of a reduced role in this, but still is there plenty, I think, and does a good job with what she's doing.
And they did a good job of mixing in some heartwarming stuff too, you know, into
Absolutely.
this. Especially with Blood Sports with his daughter and Ratcatcher with her father. Yeah. And even with the Coconut Man, where you realize why he hates his mother.
I still wish they would have gave a little more explanation about how he's expelling those polka dots. Like, is he throwing them up? Is he like, does he have to just shoot a whole bunch of them out? What does he have to do?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the thing's going to his veins or something and it's come out like that.
Yeah. And then poor Milton just dying. And then everybody forgot about him.
Yeah. I didn't even know his name. I didn't know. Did he even say his name? Because he said,
I think they do, like
Milton
at the very beginning of like him being introduced to the, you know, Milton's going to drive us in the van.
But it's funny because when you see him, he's like, you realize he was running with them. And
I saw him with them. I was like, why would he go with them?
Yeah.
What's he going to do?
So why does he need to go with them? And like, why he ain't with the other people? He doesn't give him the truck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was like, he was still with us. He was still with us. He said, where do you think he was? He said, he'll still be in the truck.
I didn't realize you had such a connection with Milton. He was like, I like Milton from the beginning.
He's not looking from the beginning.
And then Harley at the end, she's like, we're going to be a great team, Milton. He's like, my name's not Milton.
Yeah,
we just had a conversation about how you're Milton. Yeah, I very much enjoyed the writing in this. It was very good.
But yeah, this was funny. This was great. It definitely is probably one of the highlights of summer. This and Black Widow, as far as movies.
Now, let me ask you this, because Brooks was telling me that like Snyder Cut fans are review bombing this movie because they basically said like James Gunn turned this into a Marvel movie. Did you get that feeling from this? Like, I didn't get like a whole Marvel vibe from it. Like, it didn't feel like a cookie cutter Marvel kind of thing necessarily to me.
I don't know, man. I just watch movies to enjoy them. Listen, I'm out of that thing of really analyzing and shit, yo. Yeah. It's like it's not because it's not worth my time right now.
Right.
Look, the movie's good is good. If it's bad, it's bad.
And this one was good.
It was a good movie. I mean, does it feel like I don't? No. Well, first of all, because a lot of killing and cussing, I think that kind of just throws it out. I mean, like, well, it's killing Marvel movies, but this is bloody. Like, it's pretty fucking bloody. And plus, the thing is, I expected it to be silly. This not to be that serious. With suicide. I mean, even in the comics, I mean, sometimes you have serious moments. I mean, just like in this, you have some serious moments. I mean, you have serious moments, but overall, it's kind of lighthearted. And like even the comics I read of it, because if they make it more dark, it's like, man, this is the tone would be like, I don't know if I can root for these guys. Then I don't know. These guys are freaking horrible people. I mean, they are horrible, but they kind of lighthearted up with the way they banter as they're doing all this stuff.
And in a lot of ways, especially in the movie, at least they're very much redeemable in a lot of ways. At least your main characters, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even John Cena, I mean, you could say he was what he did was bad, but also you could say he was just following orders.
Right. Yeah. He was just
technically, it would have called chaos if they found the U.S. did this.
Absolutely.
So I can see his point of view too. So it's not like it was just totally black and white.
Yeah. And I will say, Waller was incredible again. Like,
oh yeah,
at the end when she's just going off, like, I'm gonna kill
she
you,
called him all. She said,
like
a piece of shit, motherfuckers. Oh man, they just knocked him out with that freaking golf club.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that she came back too and did not just immediately murder everyone in that office.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I guess. What they say, she punished her for bringing. I think she punishes us to getting him back, John Cena back.
And I guess you can say like you don't necessarily see the woman that knocked her out. Like it's the other two at the end there. So maybe something did happen to that woman. And she doesn't know that those two were necessarily directly involved, you know.
I'll just say, oh man, something fell from the ceiling,
the lighting
man.
Fixture just came off the ceiling. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was definitely great. Yeah. So what's the next big movie? When did Dune come out?
I think Dune's like very close to the end of the year. I think it's like December. Okay. October. No,
or is
October
it
22nd.
Is it Dunes or Dune?
It's Dune.
Okay.
Dunes will be the sequel.
Oh, okay.
When there are many Dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that could very well be the next one.
And because is a Batman next year, right?
Well, that's October. Shang-Chi is September. Batman is, next year now.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, that's right. I did see this. I saw that during the Olympics preview.
Yeah, March 4th of next year is when Batman is.
And what's the Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's, so it's supposed to be December? I believe it's December. But I've seen some speculation now that there's maybe with the Delta stuff that it could get pushed back, which kind of sucks. Also, Venom is coming out.
When's Venom come out?
Venom comes out September 24th.
Oh, it
so
comes
right
September.
around the time Shang-Chi also. Did you see the latest trailer for that? There's a new one out for that.
Mm-mm.
It shows a lot more Carnage stuff.
I heard about Madison. I really didn't care.
Yeah, it looks like more of that. I'm finding.
I'll wait till I can see it at home.
Yeah, yeah, because that's one that's exclusively in theaters. So
yeah, just like I haven't seen Fast 9. I haven't seen what's another one that came out. The other one came out only in theaters.
Something recent, I feel like.
Yeah, it was
like after Fast 9.
Let's
see.
I forget. I don't know if it's big, but it was something I wanted to see, but I said only in theaters. So I said, guess I have to wait. All right. So I guess we get to what we've been playing. So I'm the only one who played anything.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go ahead. I start with Death's Door. I played. Did I ever talk about this game?
I know you and I talked about it last week. I can't remember if you talked about it on the episode or not. I think you did a little bit. Yeah, because it came out that week too, and I said, you had already talked about it when we talked about it in the new releases.
Yeah, it's a Zelda. It feels like a Zelda-like game, or Souls-like because you die and go back, but it's not incredibly hard. It's fun. I enjoy it. I think I faced the second boss, I believe. That was fun. And it has like that it's like dark comedy humor. It's not really, I wouldn't call it dark, really. I don't know, because I don't feel like it's like bad, like other dark humors, but it has some humor to it. Mm-hmm. I haven't played it in a while because it's been 2 weeks, so I don't remember much, but I know the game, it's good. It's really good. Like, I feel like if you like Zelda or you're looking forward to Tunic, I feel like you should definitely check this game out. It's actually a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh yes, Ace Attorney Chronicles. What's the full title of this thing?
It is the Great Ace
Sherlock
Attorney
Holmes
Chronicles.
Of Ace Attorney or something. The Great, yeah, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm playing that now. I picked that up. Well, it actually name is Sherlock Holmes. That's the name. They replaced the S. They switched the S and the H.
Is that real?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, okay. It is real. They call him Sherlock Holmes. He's not as good as Sherlock Holmes. Like he'll do deductions, but it's kind of messed up, and that's when the game plays is like fixing his deductions. Like say, okay, that's not quite right, and then you have to find what's right to put in that place. Where like you have to analyze the scene he's talking about to say, okay, instead of this word, you put this word here. Which that's pretty fun. Also, the cases in this they'll have a jury. Well, the first case you don't because you're in Japan, so you don't have a jury. You're still using Japanese law. How they do things there. But then you end up going to England, and I take on the case. And there's a jury, and if the jury they could all just in the middle of the trial just say, "Oh, I got enough evidence. I think he's guilty," and one of their fires, they have a fire next to them. The flame will go on this pendulum, and you'll go to one side. Like there's one side for innocent and one side for guilty. So as the pendulum goes down, it hits wherever it hits the bottom. That's when it's over. Like the person's guilty or that person's innocent. Mm-hmm. Then it got to a point early that they think the person was guilty. And I was like, oh no. I was like, I already lost. And then, but no, they said there is you can someone of like an appeal that you can do real quick where you can convince somebody, you got to convince at least, I think 3 of the jury members or 4 of them probably. 3 or 4, I don't know, because there's 6 of them, so maybe you have to make it even, or actually no, I think I had to convince 4 of them to come to your side. You had to convince them, and then they start changing their flames to go over to the innocent side. So it's like I'm 1 over now, like closer to innocence. But the prosecutor was mad because nobody really used it in like a lot of years. Like this, it was used to be used all the time ago, but now everybody just accepts like, oh, it's over. But I was like, hey, it's not been taken off the books, so I'm going to use it. And because my assistant, she goes through all the laws and everything. She tells you about everything about this country, and that's how I learned what to do. And it's very racist towards Japanese. Because like how they treat the Japanese thing was like they say, oh, you are backwards country, and yeah, I forget you live in like these old places, like we're too advanced over here, basically. Good. Which it was true.
Your old traditions.
Sorry, I was joking. No, but yeah, they made it that like, yeah, I was like, darn, they really went hard with it. Said, and this is a Japanese game, so I guess they're saying like, yeah, these awful white people. Yeah, stop Asian hate. That just have a sign in there. That's what it should have been when they start the game. Just be like, please stop Asian hate and donate to the Stop Asian Hate whatever group, whatever. All right. Well, I've seen that. Where I see that at? I saw that at some game.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. It was GDQ. Oh. It was Games Done Quick. It's Games Done Quick. I saw it in front when I was looking at something. All right. But yeah, the game, it's fun. I like it. At the beginning, I didn't like how, like, I knew what the evidence was supposed to be, but apparently I'm supposed to do something before I had shown it. So,
yeah.
And it's like, how was I supposed to have known that? So I was like, kept getting marks against me. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And just because I didn't press one question, I was like, come on, man, I knew the answer. I said, I wish there was a way. There was more organic. It's too linear in that way. That I wish it was more organic. Like, hey, look, if I know something that's supposed to be presented, they should let me do it. But the way they do the story in this game is very linear, because it's really just like one of those, what's those games called?
Digital novel or whatever.
Yeah, digital novels. Yeah, it's really just a better version. Man, well, I wouldn't say better, but it's more interactive version of a digital novel. But yeah, it's pretty good. But thing is, since this is supposed to be Phoenix Wright's ancestor, they fucked up, because in the Phoenix Wright games, they say he's American and he's in the U.S. Like, everything is in the U.S.
right
in that game, because I guess they thought Americans wouldn't feel right being in Japan, like being a lawyer, because that's when they translated it. They translate to be everything in the U.S. So, but this it changes, because he's supposed to have the same last name as Phoenix Wright, but his last name is I gotta look it up, Ryo Nayosuke or something like that, and it's like, that's Phoenix Wright's last name in Japan, and I was like, see, why'd you translate? I was like, if you go, well, either you should have translated this to be like different, or you should have added something saying like, hey, his ancestors are from Japan. Yeah, it's like,
and then
you gotta
immigrated to America.
Yeah, now you gotta warp your mind to be like, Phoenix Wright was always Japan, even though I knew he was in Japan, because look at the areas they show. It's like, this ain't fucking America. What the hell is this?
There's so many cherry blossoms.
Yeah, it was way too many cherry blossoms, especially that village where his partner was at. Like what she did, I forgot her name. But yeah, I was like, come on, man, ain't no place in America that look like this. So that's what you just have to get into, like, disbelief, like, whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal. But yeah, the game it's fun. I enjoy it. If you like Phoenix Wright games, you definitely should pick this up. And it's 2 of them. I'm still on the first one. I'm on the 4th case now. Yeah, I'm on the 4th one. Because technically, the second one wasn't really a case. It's just that there was a murder, but I found out who the murderer was without having to go to trial, because it happened on the boat. So we figured out why we were still on the boat. All right. So what else? Okay, where I'm at? I gotta find the page. All right. So what else have I played? I played some more Yakuza. Oh, I beat Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay, cool.
Game is great. It was an emotional ending. Like, the story is great. Like, it started getting really serious. Like, it's more lighthearted than the other Yakuza games I played, but it did still have some serious tones, especially coming to the end when people start dying. But it's a great story, and you see characters from previous Yakuza games. Like, I saw Majima, I saw Kiryu, and plus you get them to be one of your summons. You get them to be your summons too, so that was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, and I really like this. Yeah, I think I would have said that would be my game of the year last year. I think I would have said this game because of how much they had in here, how well the story was done, and yeah, I mean these games, man, it's incredible how they do these Yakuza games. Like, I like this team. Yeah, I like this team.
You gotta just play Judgment.
Yeah, I really do. I played a very little of Accent. It's isometric RPG cyberpunk game. It got rated mostly in the 7s, I think.
I've heard a lot of people talking about it recently.
It was on Game Pass. That's how I played it. And I just played very little of it, but I kept dying in the beginning. I don't know. It took me long. I guess maybe I had to level up or something because the enemies were getting to me and I couldn't kill them fast enough. Or maybe I just suck. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. Maybe I might play that again, but I'm playing other games. I played a little bit of Dodgeball Academy just to see what it was. And it does give me vibes of Golf Story. Like, you're in an academy, a school where they teach you dodgeball, and then I played a couple matches of dodgeball against people, and it's basically showing me how to play and things. It's like a story to it. I think you could play. I think there might be an online mode to it where you can play, against other players or computer. But they do have a story mode, and yeah, I mean, it's a game that I've seen like I would like to get into. I think you probably like it too, maybe.
Yeah, it
if you like the
cool
dodgeball
from. You saying it being more like whatchamacallit, like Golf Story. Yeah.
And what else have I played? I played the beta for Back 4 Blood. That is happening. It's happening for some days now. I think it ends on the 9th, which is going to be Monday. Now, I got a code because the way to get early access, well, of course, to pre-order, or it's this thing you got to do, which it's easy to do. Because you go and have an account on WB account, then you attach your Twitch account to your WB account, and then watch somebody playing Back 4 Blood for at least an hour. So all I did was put that on the computer, and I didn't watch them. I mean, I just had it like I was watching them. Yeah, and then after that, they give you the beta keys. Like you have to pick what system you want to use. I picked Steam because I wanted to see if this game could be played on my PC, and I tried it, and yeah, it played well. It optimized well on my PC, on my 970 graphics card. So I was happy. And after playing it, it is very much like Left 4 Dead, except for the weapons. The weapons are different levels, have different stats. I don't know if you can level up the weapons. I'm not sure. I know you can get attachments. You can use currency. There's currency you can pick up, then you use it to buy things on stages. And I don't think it carries over, like, if you leave the game, you still have this stuff. I think it's based on what you play, I think it's based on each chapter you play. So, because when I left, I realized I didn't have nothing. So yeah, so you pick up currency to buy either bad packs or maybe a different gun, a better gun, or attachments, or some other abilities, ammo, or something to help the team out. So that's cool, but I like the simplicity of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. That you pick up a med pack, you picked up either pills, med pack, or, pick up a grenade or incinerate grenade, or like the bottle with basically with like alcohol or whatever, and throw it and burn up.
Molotov.
Yeah, Molotov. Yeah, I just can't think of the name. And also, and like the guns are just the guns. There's some guns better than others, but that's it. There's no trying to upgrade them or attachments. You just pick up the gun you want. You pick up the melee weapon you want. There's no like, oh, this stat is better than this one. No, it's just simplistic. They made it. See, they got this, and then they got cards too here. So you got cards to see like, hey, what type of stats you would have. Like, it does something to the game. Like, it may make it like, hey, if you achieve this in this part of the game, you'll receive more health, or your damage would be more. So they got card packs too, just like, these games that come out now all have. And I personally don't like it because it makes me that, everybody's going to have to sit in these menus before we start the game to choose what we want. And then have to figure out, like, okay, what's this? What's this? I'm like, oh my God, why can't just let me just pick up a gun? I mean, you can, but just like, then I'm not playing the game right because I'm not using stuff to make our run easier or better or get us more loot. And that's the only downside for me. Like, other than that, it's fine. The shooting's great. I mean, it does everything what Left 4 Dead did. I'm trying to think of something more. I think do they automatically do the flashlight? I don't think you have to turn it on. I think it just comes on if it's in a dark place. I don't remember turning it on. I like the enemies I saw. They were cool. Like, I don't really understand them. I think one is similar to a boomer. Another one was like a giant enemy. And see, one guy, he was busy trying to fight. You didn't have to fight. You could have ran. And we were trying to run, but he was just staying back fighting it. And I was like, oh, God. I think he figured out that we weren't coming to help him. So he ran back. And on my run, 2 of the guys didn't make it. Well, actually, no, one of the guys. The other guy barely had made it. Because they went, you had to blow up the boat. But they were the 2 that had the... Well, actually, I think we all technically had the bombs, but the explosives... But I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, like, oh, was I supposed to pick it up? Or do I just go to the marker and do it? And I just let them go ahead. And I stayed in the back to shooting zombies, trying to give them some cover. Mm-hmm. But then when the timer went on, I ran. And we ran to where the evac was, and they would take a long time. I said, oh, my God. I said, oh, my goodness. I said, should I go back to help them? I was like, nah, I want to win. I want to be alive. And the guy barely made it. The other guy, he was just there, but he didn't get there. So we didn't get the full team. And I had a card for, like, you get something, the full team makes it out. It's like, oh, you bastard. I said I don't know what the hell I was going to get because I ain't bother reading all the way. I just said, hey, let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. It's a fun game. I feel like if you like Left 4 Dead, you'll like this. If you like games of that nature, it feels great. I'm just not big on the whole customization of it. Like I said, the simplicity of Left 4 Dead is where it's at for me. Like, I wish games would go back to that. Because I have a feeling like, is this game going to have it where you buy card packs? You can buy card packs with real money? I mean, it's a WB game.
Yeah. I don't feel like I've heard anything about it, but yeah. With it being a WB game, it feels like almost a given, right? Yeah.
And that's a shame if that is. Even if they don't say, hey, you can't buy card, but then you can earn them. I'm just like, why? Why can't it just be, this is it? I don't know. I mean, it does bring some replayability to it, I guess, because like, hey, I want to try it with this weapon, or try. I guess I don't know, because you get something different every time. You know, you might not have the same guns on each run, or same melee weapon on each run. But I don't know. That's just me. But I mean, I'll still get. Well, I'm going to have it on Game Pass, so I will still be playing this game when it comes out. I still want to play it. Yeah. And last but not least, the game I picked up was The Forgotten. I've been seeing good reviews for this game, so I said, let me try it out. I see it's a nice RPG, very story-driven RPG. And I didn't realize it was like a mod from Skyrim. But after I played it, I was like, man, this looks kind of just like the Bethesda games. And then I looked up and said, oh, this was a mod at first. And they just made a full-blown game. So you play this character who washes up on shore from a river, I think. And this woman finds you. And she asks you who you are. And you get to write and type in your name, and then you could say, like, what are you? Like, are you you could put like you're a soldier from somewhere or whatever. I just have amnesia. I don't know where I came from. And then she didn't want to tell me her name, and I was like, why didn't just tell me your name? Say, I told you mine, and she said it's Karen. And then you had a choice of saying, oh, because of all the memes. All the memes, you don't like Karen.
Really?
Yep, and I did that. Yep, and I said, yep, for all the beans. So you're Karen. And then she said that there was another guy here who also had washed on shore, and she said I could find him. Now, I'm going to go back to this part because I'm thinking, like, why do I have to go find him? Why can't you go find him?
You're the one that lost him.
And she probably had a reason. I missed it because I was thinking as I was going there, I was like, oh, she ain't gonna follow me. So what the fuck? I said, why is she just staying there? So I go look for him in this old temple ruin, and because I think that's what she was here for, to look at these things. And as I go through, I fall in, like the floor falls, and I fall in this water, and then I see like this underground city but it's full of like golden statues. And I'm walking through. Then I finally get to the end, and there's a letter. Well, not the end, but there's a letter that he wrote saying that how he came down here and how he went through this portal and something like that. So then I go through the portal. I see the portal. I go through it, and now I'm in the same place, but about hundreds of years in the past, during Roman times. And the guy, so I asked the guy, he saw me come through. He said, "Oh, you just came through here?" I said, "I never seen somebody come." He said, "Oh, and then he said, "Oh, your accent's funny." And I think they give you choices what to say. I chose like, "How you understand me?" Because I was like, how you understand English?
Right,
Somebody said, "What?" They said, "No, you're speaking Latin." So I guess whatever has happened to me, it makes me sound like I'm speaking Latin to them, and they're sound like English to me. Mm-hmm. So then he told me what time period it was. He said it was like 600 something, or I don't know, was it or like 100 something, or I forgot. After Rome was built. And I said, I don't understand that. Tell me, is it AD or BC? He said, BC, what's that? I said, before Christ. He said, oh, don't say that. Those cultists. He said, no, something like that. We don't say that word. And then he told me to go meet with the magistrate. I go meet with him. Apparently, he had called upon me to come here, like in the future, though. He said, because this is a city where there's without sin. If you follow the golden rules, you won't be turned into statues. That's what happened to the last people that was there. They turned into statues because they committed sin. Thing is, it's complicated because you don't know what sin is. Because people lie, but it seems to be okay. And he said he had bought me. He said that if there ever came a time when somebody had committed sin, he would have to hurry up and go to this temple and open this portal, which requires a sacrifice. He had to sacrifice himself to open a portal to have somebody come save them. So that means that it happened because I came through. So I'm here to help find out what was the sin that was caused and how to stop it. So that's the basis of the game. You can do a lot of things. You can talk to anybody and they have their own story. And you have a lot of things that could be a sin, because one guy, he was about to commit suicide. I was trying to stop him, but I didn't convince him enough, so he jumped. Oh, wow. But that wasn't a sin. So now we know that suicide is not a sin. So he can go jump all he wants next time I come back. Oh, because after a sin has been done, then these statues will. There's like two statues. There's statues of people who have been turned to statue. There's the statues of just like people with arrows or something. And they come to life and start shooting you with an arrow. When they shoot you with an arrow, you turn to stone. You turn to a statue. And it's probably gold. I think it's gold. And so as they're shooting me, my health was going down. I didn't fully turn to gold. So I was just running. I knew where to go. But then there's an indicator to tell you where to go when something important. I followed that. It follows you back to the portal where you was. And then you see a dead body, and now you realize, oh, he opened the portal. He sacrificed himself. So I go through the portal, then I come back, and I'm trying to remember. When I go through the portal, do I just come back there, or do I go back to my time? I don't remember now. I don't remember what I did. I want to assume that I just came back to their time. Like I'm stuck in a loop now. But I'm not sure. I think that's what it is, though. Because if I do go back to my time, I kind of want to go back and talk to that girl. So next time, because I'm going to have to do this again, because that's the game, is that you keep repeating, try to find out what's the sin that's been caused. Because I stole something. Because this lady said she wanted this medicine. And she needed the medicine to help somebody. She said, look, if I'm getting this medicine, I'm going to have to steal. I said, but that's a sin. I said, it doesn't matter. I can't be here to watch people die when they can be helped. Because the man was trying to sell this medicine at exorbitant prices that nobody can afford. Because he's like supply and demand. So I went to steal it, and that's when all hell went loose. And like this loud sound, like a god. And he said something. It was scared the shit out of me because I got my headphones on. So it was loud. I was like, oh shit. It's like God speaking to me. And then that's when I saw statues come to life. They're shooting people. He was like, oh, what has been done? who's done this? So they don't know I did it. So I just ran to the portal. But I realized, you know what? I kept the medicine, though. I kept the medicine that I stole. So now I see that, so I can take things. And I will have them on the next run. Mm-hmm. So I gave her the medicine so she went to steal it. But then it caused another problem because the girl who was poisoned, she wasn't poisoned. She actually poisoned herself because she wanted to commit suicide because she is stuck in being someone's slave. Well, she's basically paying off a debt. Indentured servant, I guess you would say, but a long indentured servant because she borrowed a lot of money because she was trying to find a way out of the place. And this woman said, "Hey, I know a way out." And she said, "You have to pay me this." So she said, "I don't have that much money to pay that." And said, I know a place you can get a loan. So she went to this guy to get a loan. And then I guess she figured that, hey, she's going to be leaving. Hey, she don't have to worry about it. But it was all a setup. This is a setup. They both was on a scheme. She gets the loan. The lady gave her this poison. She said, that's the way out, basically. Like killing herself. And then lady said, no, I want money back. So nope. She has a sign that says no money back or something like that. Buy what you buy, you own it, whatever, something. And then she's stuck working for this guy. And that's what he's done to a few people. He had a few people who are long indentured service that got to pay off this debt because they schemed him. I was like, oh man, that's fucked up. But I guess, hey, that's not a sin because that seems to be okay. Also, I think I was talking to the magistrate about like what they think of sins because I was like, hey, do y'all still have slavery here? Because he said we're the most advanced country in the world, stuff like that. I said, do y'all still have slavery? He said, of course we do. Our prisoners are slaves. He said, that's fine or something. And then I said, do y'all still have fights to death like blood sports? He said, yes, but that people, it brings honor to them. People even join, freely because it brings honor to them or something like that. And I say, like, these things aren't looked good upon in my time, or public execution. Say, oh, that doesn't. Well, I don't understand. I don't believe that. He said something like that. Like he doesn't. He's like that's. He feels like it's all okay, and apparently it is because it's there's that nobody has turned the statues over that. So that's the thing. It's like, well, I know stealing is definitely a sin. Now, killing somebody, I don't know because I haven't done that yet, or I haven't seen somebody do that yet. Mm-hmm. Because some people are on the edge, like they about to do something, and I had to try to figure out that I got a lot of quests that says like how to stop this person from doing this or finding something for them. So it's a good mystery. Like this is a cool concept for a game, like a loop, kind of time loop thing, and I like it. Like this is cool. Like I'm going to be playing this for a while probably until I can figure out what exactly is the sin. Or I think it's multiple endings to this game too. So yeah, the Forgotten City. Yeah, they definitely check this game out. I think this game's going to be talked about for Game Awards probably. Like this mention at least for like sounds something cool, like really innovative. But apparently, did you see the year they done this mod for Skyrim? Because apparently it's been, I wonder how long it's been around. But I mean, this is like a full blown. It looks like, I mean, you still can tell it's like a Bethesda game, but it's more cleaned up. Like it's its own game now. And they say there's only 4 people have been working on this.
Wow.
And I wonder who's doing the voice acting. The voice acting is actually pretty good. Like whoever they got to do voice acting, man, hey, good for them. Or they had the budget to do it. All right, so I guess we'll take a break, and when we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're flashbacking to the first week of August. Well, the first couple of days of August. The first 7 days, really. So, well, yeah, the first week. Okay, well, what the hell am I talking about? So, yeah, because it's a new month, we do covers, but I got a few games to mention, too, this month. So, we got Bleach Soul Resurrection. Yeah, I don't know why they. Is that what Spanish or is
I
that
don't know. I was thinking
Italian
French
or
for some
French?
reason.
French. Okay, maybe French. Yeah, I don't know.
Japanese.
It's basically Soul's Resurrection, whatever. But Bleach is an anime, and this is a game. I don't know. Is this a fighting game? I don't know, or action game. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't really know these games. I don't know his games, but hey, the Bleach fan, maybe you like it. Maybe it's like just like people like those Dragon Ball Z games, even though they're bad. All right, so we got Galaga Legions DX for the PlayStation Network. I think we mentioned that for something else earlier. I think the Xbox.
That sounds great.
So Limbo finally came to Windows.
Yeah.
We got Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet for Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah.
I felt like I played this game, and I don't know what it is.
It's the one that's kind of Metroidvania. You're a little spaceship, and you're flying around sort of limbo-y looking planets. Like they're colorful, but also silhouette-y.
Okay, cool, yeah, I remember seeing this. I think I might have played the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Serious Sam Double D came off Windows. This is where Sam gets some breast implants and got up to a double D.
Sam was that guy that took a bet and lost and then had to get breast implants.
So, was this like 2 HD or something? Was this a totally new game?
I don't know. Double D. Let's see what Wiki says. Oh. Serious Sam D is a 2011 side-scrolling shooter game. Developed by Mommy's Best and published by Digital Devolver, the game follows Sam Sirius Stone traveling through various historical settings to destroy the horde of his nemesis. I don't know that I ever realized this existed.
Oh, it's a side-scrolling
Serious Sam game.
All right, so I guess is this part 2 of that?
Let's see. It was the studio previous. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's a creative title.
Subtitle characterizes that the game is in 2D as opposed to previous installments in the series. But is it?
Oh, so maybe it's just double D as in 2D.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. All right.
I was trying to think if it was like, why isn't it telling me whether it was a re-release or not? But yeah, no, that's what it is. It's that, yeah.
Okay. And that was it, because I ain't going to mention these two. They're iOS games. And this is I.O., which I don't even know what the hell that is.
Come on, Temple Run was huge, Dominic.
What is I.O.?
I don't know, probably iOS and it got cut off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, iOS.
Simple one. Yeah, maybe it is. I mean, I don't know it. You have to talk about it.
It was one of those like behind the back infinite runner things. It was like one of the first ones that blew up real big on phones and kids were into at the time. I think adults too, but yeah.
It's behind the back. Oh, see, yeah. Okay, that's a little interesting.
Yeah, instead of like a side scrolling. So yeah, it was big for a while.
So that is it for the first week of 2011. There might be some more games because I forgot to look at this other list, but I'll just have to talk about next week because we got a lot of shit to talk about because we got to go through the covers. So we go back 20 years this week in August. We got Golden Sun on Game Boy Advance, which is an RPG. Did you ever play this?
Yes. I don't think I ever beat them, but I played a decent amount of Golden Sun back in the day. It was incredible. I mean, graphically for that system, it was astonishing. Like it was sort of 3D while using sprites, and it just harkened back to the days of like a Final Fantasy game, but it was more modern. Like it was more like Final Fantasy VII, but it had that feeling, which even by that point we had kind of moved away from a little bit. Where it was like simplistic, you know, choose from your menu, your active time battle stuff had already kind of taken over. But it was awesome. I miss those games. I'm surprised that we haven't gotten Nintendo revisiting that series at some point.
I'm surprised too. I was thinking like Golden Sun was like, I kept hearing good things about it. I never played it. Mm-hmm. Like this is something like I always said, like, hey, I might play on an emulator or something, Game Boy Advance, but I just never got to it. And I'm surprised they haven't continued this. Like, why is this that kept going through Nintendo?
I guess it could just be similar to like Advance Wars, where maybe in the next year or so we could see something from that. I see a lot of people on Twitter every time there's like a Nintendo announcement, like, "Hey, you gonna do a new Golden Sun thing?"
All right. We also have WWF Betrayal for the Game Boy Color, made by Way Forward.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that, but I was looking it up because I was trying to see if this was one that I played, and it was. I very vividly remember this one because it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and the story is that you're trying to save Stephanie McMahon because she's been kidnapped, and Vince has hired you, and if you save her, you get a shot at the world title. I think this was around the time that they were doing like the Undertaker kidnapping her kind of storyline.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But
that
a little
awesome.
bit after that, because there are 4 playable characters you can play as either The Rock, Stone Cold, The Undertaker, or who else can you play as? Or Triple H. And it's like biker Undertaker. So it was after like Ministry of Darkness stuff. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense that it was made by Way Forward now. Like, it's not the greatest game in the world, but it's a fun little action side scroller, just kind of beat 'em up thing. And
is it better than Shantae?
No. I wouldn't say all that, because it's very limited. Like, you don't even have like a ton of wrestling moves in there. Like, The Rock can obviously rock bottom and you can pedigree and stuff, but there's not like a whole bunch of signature moves. It's mostly you just kicking and punching and stuff. But it was a fun little thing, and I would love for them to make another WWE game, or even like an AEW game that did more with like the outside the ring story kind of stuff, instead of just another wrestling simulator kind of thing, or in addition to just have another mode. They did that with kind of like Day of Reckoning and stuff for the GameCube, where it was like you were on construction sites as they were building SummerSlam stadiums or WrestleMania stadiums or something, and you were like throwing guys off of cranes and whatnot. It's just silliness.
All right. So last but not least, we got Shogun Total War Mongol Invasion.
Oh no.
Yes, and those Total War games they look pretty good. Like, I just like seeing all those enemies. Well, I say enemies. All depends what side you're playing on. All those soldiers on the field, like, at one time, and they always look cool. And that is it. So now, since we know at the beginning of each month, we like to show the gaming covers for that month. So we're going to start with 2011 with Electronic Gaming Monthly. And speaking of Skyrim, we're talking about the Skyrim mod. We got Skyrim on the front. And it says right here, come on, get those words out of here.
The top says, go hands-on with Nintendo's Wii U and Sony's PS Vita.
Oh, okay. Oh, PS Vita. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's got all the 3s, Dominic. It's got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Uncharted 3, Mass Effect 3, Battlefield 3,
Jesus.
BioShock 3.
So much creativity here, man. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was big because that's basically ended the story of Modern Warfare. This is the last of that storyline until they brought it back, a couple years ago, a few years ago. We ain't counting that one though. But this was like the original storyline, and I didn't play that until probably maybe like 6 years later or something when I finally played it. And it was on like during this podcast.
Yeah,
I tried it out, and I don't remember what happened at the end. I still remember 2 and 1 more than that one. But I mean, I only beat it one time, but it wasn't memorable. But I don't think, like, the reviews for this, I think they were good, but just it wasn't great, right? It wasn't as great as like what 2 was. Yeah, I didn't hear people speaking up to it like that, like, or even about the multiplayer, like it was so great. I think people, because Black Ops came out before this one, right?
Yes.
I think that was still. I think people still like Black Ops. But Tomb Raider, this is the new Tomb Raider, yeah. So this is the when they about to revamp, I believe. I want to say, and then you have Uncharted 3. I mean, for me, because I liked Uncharted 2 a lot, it was just that. I mean, I was kind of into this, like I want to play this, and it's a good game. It's just more the same, though.
Right.
So it just that. I mean, that was the bad thing about the game. It was just more the same, which is not bad, but it's just like what more to say. I mean, but it's good. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I liked the story. It was good. It was all right. What else we got? Mass Effect 3. Of course, I was waiting for that. I mean, that was my most anticipated game. Alien, Colonial Marines. This was bad game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I want to say. Now, was it looking good? Like, were people like anticipating this?
I don't remember. I want to say there was some positivity going into it. Like people were expecting something, and then it was just like terrible.
Yeah, and this is one like it was taking forever because I feel like I heard about this game years ago. And
yeah, that's the one that got worked on by the Borderlands guys, the Gearbox. But it sounded like almost like Gearbox just took the money and ran with it. Basically, like we're gonna release this shit, like we're gonna take over developing it, but we realize that it's trash, so we're just gonna release it in this really trash form and then move on with our lives and take the money.
Yeah, they did that with Duke Nukem.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how they get the money to do like the Borderlands. They just release those games, get some people, some suckers to get it, and then it's like, okay, we gotta get some extra Borderland money. Yeah. All right, Hitman Absolution. Yeah, I know people like that. I just never got into the Hitman games. Absolution, I actually played a little bit of that because I think it was free with a couple of systems. So I played some, and I mean, I actually enjoyed it, but I think I was playing another game at the time, and so I just never came back to it. Battlefield 3, yeah, I played this game. It is not memorable at all, the story mode anyway. Like, I do not remember the story in Battlefield 3. Because I was thinking about Battlefield 4. I was about to say the story, then I was like, oh shit, that's Battlefield 4. And I don't remember anything from Battlefield 3. I just remember, only thing I remember from Battlefield 3, though, is that how good it looked. Like, because we would look as like, oh man, this looks so good. Like the tanks look real and everything. I mean, graphically, yeah, it was impressive at the time. I mean, it's really anticipated. Like, people were really looking forward to this. And plus, like the big, like 64 player, maps and stuff like that. Yeah. BioShock Infinite, I was really looking forward to. I mean, that game, everybody was looking forward to it. We couldn't wait for it. I mean, it was kept getting delayed. But yeah, and Batman Arkham City, of course. I mean, yeah, the best Batman one. Got E3 wrap up, go behind the scenes, game art, seeing red. Will Redbox kill gaming? What? No, it will not. It did not. I can tell you. And other shit. All right, so now let's go to the next magazine, and we got here PC Gamer, and look at this, Duke Nukem. Duke, they got the Duke review. Was it worth the wait? The PC Gamer verdict. Oh, they loved it. They loved the game, Daniel. I'm gonna think they gave it a high score. Boobs, bullets, and babes. BBB.
Don't believe it? Check page 50, Dominic.
Oh, look, spoiler alert, BioShock Infinite, plot secrets and never before seen screens.
Ooh.
Also, they got world exclusive, first look at 12 League of Legends champions.
Oh, man.
Also revealed. Yeah, this gotta be this is like the start, really, man. It's like 2011, like, when did it come out? When did League of Legends come out? Was it 2010 or 2011 or 2009?
Let's see. 2009, October.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is still the earliest, but, man, it was huge. And it's still, when I go to Twitch, that's still one of the top 5. Like, you remember, like, I remember when Overwatch was in the top 5 for a long time. Now, Overwatch, I think it's like in the 20 or something. Like, that just fell there. Like, no Blizzard game, really, is in the top 5. Like, Hearthstone, I mean, it changes daily, but I used to see, like, every time I would just look on Twitch, I would see something, at least Blizzard, near the top. I think the thing I see is Hearthstone. I think that's maybe the top 10 I saw it, and then I looked down the list, and then I saw Overwatch or something like that. So it's you think? I mean, I don't think that is because I think it was like that months ago. It's not because of what happened at Blizzard. I doubt that. I think it's just that people are playing other games because the big games are.
Some of this stuff happened at Riot, and that didn't kill League of Legends.
No, hell no. So and plus, so League of Legends is like one of the top ones. I think Dota's still up there, some around there. Then of course you got Fortnite. Fortnite's big. There's some RPG shit up there too. I forget. That's people just playing all the time. All right. So I got kind of away from this. Oh yeah, they're the world's #1 PC games magazine.
Do you think the reason the two women's faces on Duke Nukem's cover here, he's holding one of them and one's pressed up against him, do you think they have the same face because they're supposed to be twins or just because they had the same character model?
Well, I think they showed them as twins in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I played some in the game. I told you I got to the place where the aliens and they were sort of raping them, and I felt disturbed. It triggered me. It triggered me.
Good.
Yeah, it's like actually, I mean, I ain't gonna say that triggered me. I think I just the game sucked, and I just didn't feel like going any further. Actually, I don't know if we even got to that part. You know what, Daniel? I think I'm misremembering. I don't think I got that far. I think I saw that in a review when like Game Trails review or something, or IGN, one of them, like wherever I had a video review. I think that's where I saw it, and I was like, oh my jeez, God, they got this shit in here. Let's say. Yeah, I don't think I actually got that far. All right, so we got Xbox Gaming Magazine, the official Xbox Gaming Magazine, and we got Gears of War 3 exclusive hands-on on the cover. Can you survive the onslaught? Full details on all new Horde mode. It was a great Horde mode. Modern Warfare 3, Holy Essence, whatever that is. America is under attack. Too much good stuff. Dead Island, Need for Speed, Assassin's Creed, and Final Fantasy.
They heard you and they said, you know what? We won't release another Dead Island for a while.
Yeah. They said, what's in the next Xbox? It's on page 56.
Oh, man.
Check it out, guys. Check it out. All right. Oh, what they got up here? Max Payne 3, Bioshock Infinite, Deus Ex. All right. So, where am I? We got here the PlayStation Official Magazine. And we got Digigaiden 3 on the front.
Ooh.
World exclusive. And
Weird
they got also... Oh, Touch and Go. Hands on the PS Vita launch lineup.
Yeah. We're getting
and the heavy hitters. All the games we talked about. Final Fantasy 13 2, though. Yep. Whatever. I mean, I think... I
sounds so
know.
excited, Dominic.
Was those two games, or at least one of them, was better than the first one? I felt like somebody said that. I feel like a few people have said that, but I'm not sure. I think the last one, 3, wasn't really good. I don't know. I just didn't like the first one, so I definitely didn't care about playing the other ones. What's it say? We kiss and tell Catherine's secrets? Oh, yeah.
Catherine.
That game's still coming out. All right. So what else we got here? We got Game Informer. What's on this cover? Oh, Dishonored.
Yeah.
I had this magazine. The boldest measures are the safest. Yeah, it's a nice. Yeah, I like it. This is all right. And got the Dishonored mask. Oh man, I want to see his face. I want to see what he looks like. They do show his face in the game, don't they?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. And I played most of it. All right. So, I think that's it. Yep, that is it for 2011 I got here.
Oh, wait. You skipped Edge, right?
Did I?
I think you did.
Oh.
It's got
Where is
the
it?
Wii U on the cover, Dominic. Wii U takes control of the next generation.
Yes, Edge has, the Wii U. Oh, that's huge. That's Nintendo's best console. Nintendo's best console came out. Best console nobody bought. That's what it is, Daniel.
Yep. Best kept secret, Dominic.
Nintendo reinvents. Wii U takes control of the next generation. Now, come on, man. Really?
God, it's so weird that we're getting to the point where we're almost talking about, I mean, we saw it with the Xbox magazine, but like we're almost talking about like Xbox One and PS4 stuff on these magazine covers.
Yeah. I mean, if you did that tablet thing, man, that was interesting.
Yeah, they tried something different.
All right. So now we're going back 20 years to PC Gamer, and they have Deus Ex on the cover. Deus Ex 2. And this was huge. Like,
yeah.
I remember seeing this game on the GTTV. I was like, oh, man, I really want this game. I said, I don't have a PC. But then I heard it was Xbox. Oh, man, I don't got an Xbox either. And I was like, man, I hope I just get my hands on it. Because I was so jealous of it, the way it looked. It looked so, like, graphically at the time, it looked so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it looked so good. And I actually knew nothing about the game, though. I knew nothing about this game.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a regular shooter. I didn't know what it was. I didn't realize it was like, I think they said they had RPG elements to it, so that also gave my attention, but I didn't know exactly what you did of it.
Well, that's the one that became more shootery and everybody flipped out over, too.
Oh, okay. Oh, so when they got their hands on it, they were upset about it?
Yeah. Yeah, the second one, along with it, they also mentioned here Thief 3. When those two came out, they were like, oh, they only came out on the Xbox, and now they're watered down console versions, basically.
Oh.
Well, they also came out on the Xbox, I should say, because they did come to the PC as well.
This is Inside Game God, Warren Spector's Dream Studio. Okay. Is Warren Spector still doing something?
I don't know. I feel like you hear about him every once in a while still, but I don't know what he's done.
Yeah, also, they got here 12 big reviews. What they got here? Medal of Honor, Jedi Knight 2 Outcast. Oh, those are big. And Jedi Knight 2 Outcast, that's the game that my friend, it almost fried his computer.
Oh, no.
He did not have the power. He did not have the power for that. But it looked good for a brief moment when we watched it. GeoForce 3.
Man.
The best buys and cheaper options.
3.
Now
we're at
they got here
30,000.
Is that Britney Spears down here in this corner?
Yes, it is.
Super Scoops, 53 hot new games. Why?
Hashtag free Britney from this cover.
Was this one of her games? She had a Britney Spears.
It must be that
game
like Britney Spears dancing party or something game. Because it says I'm on page 25 or 20 something.
What we got here? We got Star Trek Bridge Commander, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, Medal of Honor, Allied Assault.
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxies. Damn, that's the first Star Wars RPG, man. MMO. Sid Meier's Sim Golf. Oh, yeah. This got good reviews, too. Age of Mythology. This one, too, was huge, too. Sims Online. That didn't turn out so good. And Republic. I don't know what Republic is. Unreal 2. Plus BioWare, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, Dan, what we got here? We got Next Gen magazine. They got your boys on the front, Dan.
Those are the worst rendered Mario and Luigi I've ever seen. They look frightening.
Look at Luigi. He is happy.
He is happy to be playing that gold GameCube.
Look, he's angry, man. He's angry that Luigi's getting all the shine for the GameCube. GameCube exposed, yes. New screens and info from inside Nintendo. Luigi's Mansion, Eternal Darkness. Yeah, Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness, yeah.
Did you play that game?
Yes. I borrowed that from a guy in high school and never gave it back.
Oh, okay. I'll call the police. It's like, wait a minute, it's probably, how long? Like, what is the
statute of limitations are up now, though?
Yeah, they probably are. It's 20 years, I think. Yeah, I think it is.
I forget why I never ended up giving it back to him. It wasn't like I'm keeping this, but it was, I don't know. He just never wanted it back or something.
Smash Brothers Melee, Star Fox Adventures, Wave Race Blue Storm. How did that turn out? Wave Race Blue Storm.
That was the launch one, right? I think that was pretty good, but it wasn't like as good as the Wave Races on 64 or something. But the water looked incredible. I don't know. That's another series that I would really like to see return. I mean, that or at least like Jet Moto. Jet Moto would also be awesome.
And Pikmin and more. Also on the set of Resident Evil Ground Zero. Oh, is that the movie?
Yes. Ground Zero. I don't remember that one.
Like, listen, I only watched the first movie, so I know there's a 2 and a 7.
I was going to say in a 23. Yep, that was... Oh, maybe that's what the first movie was originally called.
Really?
The film Resident Evil Ground Zero, based on popular series, is currently in production in Berlin, Germany. Starring lead actress Mila Jovovich. Yeah, it looks like that was what the first one was originally called. I guess they just dropped that name.
Well, only movies. All right, so plus the latest on Virtua Fighter 4, Sid Meier's Sim Golf, Star Wars Obi-Wan, Project Gotham. Project Gotham. Yeah, they stopped that series. They just said, we don't stick with Forza. All right, so now we got the unofficial PlayStation Magazine. And we got a lot of characters on front of here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they got like Dante, Snake, Jack and Dexter, Maximo, and Titus. They pronounce it Titus. They know I like Titus, but they say no, it's Titus. Final Fantasy X, hands-on with Square's masterpiece. And shocking Metal Gear Solid 2 picks. I mean, you've seen picks in probably every damn magazine of Metal Gear Solid. Like, that was just the biggest game, like, everybody was just waiting for. And until they realized Grand Theft Auto was the biggest game that people didn't know. Like, they didn't realize they were waiting for. They didn't realize they were waiting for that. So, oh, shit. PS2 big guns, the new PS2 games that must own. I mean, come on. Look at this. All these games, except, I don't know about Maximo. I don't know when that came out. I think it did too. But I don't really care about Maximo. But all these games came out at Christmas. I mean, during the holiday season.
Yeah. And
all in one year on PlayStation 2. I mean, this is my Christmas. Like, I had all these games, except for Maximo. I had all those games at Christmas. I mean, that's why it's like my best Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the one I can remember. I can't remember any of the other Christmases. Except for this one. And the Christmas I got Sonic 2. I got Street Fighter that Christmas also. No, I didn't. That's a lie. I got Street Fighter 2 when I got Sonic Spinball. And Art Alive. Yeah, Sonic 2, I think I just got that by itself. That was good enough. See, I can't remember. Never mind. See, I can't remember really those Christmases. But I can remember this one. All right, so what they got here? PS2 goes online. Chat with AOL. AOL, Daniel. Mm-hmm. That's your you still got the email. Yep. Surf with Netscape. Oh, Netscape. And play these games. Tony Hawk 3, Twisted Metal Online. Gran Turismo Online. Man, online gaming, man. I think it might get big. It might be big. SmackDown 3, incredible screens of the PS2 WWF game. I couldn't wait for this, and then I realized it wasn't that good. Gran Turismo 3, we talked about this. Get all the cars, unlock the F1 mode, cheat to get tons of cash. Yeah, I appreciate that. Beat the best times. But I had to actually replay for that. But then all I did was like, yeah, I can buy the high-priced cars, and now they're so fast, I just drive to the wall really fast. So that's all I did. It's like, oh, man. All right, so now we got GamePro.
Oh, boy.
And we got SSX Tricky on the front and Twisted Metal Black. And it looks like that is NBA Street.
Yep.
Duncan, and that's a Kobe game. I don't know which game he's on for that. Maybe the 2K2? Maybe. And that's Allen Iverson. So, no, Kobe would be something else. Did Kobe still have his own game with Nintendo?
Maybe.
I was about to say.
They were doing those through the GameCube, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, the GameCube, they got all those games we talked about. Xbox, they got Dead or Alive 3. Yes, the boobies, baby. You remember that commercial? They said, what did he say? She kicks high? That was the commercial, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord. I
she
remember
kicks
that,
high. Oh, man. Jet Set Radio Future. WWF Raw is War. Also, 3.5 million gamers read this magazine each month, apparently. 140 plus games inside. Jesus. Oh, yeah, we talked State of Emergency. That was a Rockstar game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think my friend got that game. And I always was thinking, like, oh, yeah, this is cool. We can just go out and just riot and murder all these people. And so it's like, and I think that was controversial also. It's like, oh, no, you just murder. But then it turned out it wasn't, it
wasn't good.
It wasn't that good. I mean, it got old fast. Put it like this, it got old fast too. Grand Theft Auto 3, Capcom vs. SNK 2. I want to know, I don't remember who told me about Grand Theft Auto 3. It had to be my friend across the alley. Because I don't think I ever really known. I mean, I would have read about it, but I wouldn't known, like, hey, I want to get this game. Mm-hmm. It had to be a friend across the street talk about how good it was. And I think I borrowed it. Yeah, I think I borrowed Grand Theft Auto 3 first, just to try it out. Say, like, okay, let's see how this game is. And then I realized, oh my God, you can do anything in this game. And then when you get to pick up the hooker and go do your business in the car show, I say, okay, I gotta get this game. Yeah. I gotta get this game. Spyro, Banjo-Kazooie, Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo Revival. There's so many Street Fighters. Medal of Honor, Hell Out Assault. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Oh, Return of Red Cat for Wolfenstein. I think this guy was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. And Shenmue 2. Yes, this is the last Dreamcast games, Daniel. Tennis 2K2. All right. And let's see here what we got here, Dan. We got... Oh, that's it. That's it for 2001, but we have one more. GamePro 30 years ago. And look at this cover. The greatest superhero. Spider-Man on the greatest console. The Sega Genesis. Yep, my friend had this game. I borrowed this game. All I could get to was the third level. I think that's where Shocker was. Mm-hmm. And I could see him, but then something would kill me before I got to him. And then I always died. It pissed me off. I'm trying to think. I think the first person you fight is the Lizard, I want to say. Did I even face Dr. Octopus or Sandman? I'm not sure. But man, I liked it. It was fun. I think you crawl on walls. I think you can crawl on like the side of the screen or something like that. Or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was great, Daniel. And I was like, yeah, you Nintendo people don't got nothing.
Nope.
I ain't had nothing at the time. Until like
Maximum Carnage.
I think you had a game before that. What was it, like a Spider-Man and X-Men game?
Just a Spider-Man one.
Oh yeah, and I remember Spider-Man X-Men. I don't know if that was a good game though. I think I played it and I didn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. But, yeah. All right, so let's see. An Amazing Spider-Man, Spidey and Sega Spin Spectacular, new games plus win $1,000. Ooh, there we go, Daniel. And prizes and rare Spider-Man comics.
It's like $20 million nowadays. With
yeah,
inflation.
exactly. 1991. Yes, that is $20 million. Super Nintendo buyer's guide to all the games coming this fall. Oh yeah, the Super Nintendo's coming, Daniel. It's coming. Watch out, Sega. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Hot previews. See it here first. Ninja Gaiden 3 and Star Wars. Well, I know what Sega did. They got Sonic. And they said, I don't care about those Super Mario world. We got Sonic the Hedgehog. He's cool and he's got an attitude. Cool carts. What is that, like kart racing game or something? I didn't think kart racing games would outlet down this time. Fantasia. I was thinking I always thought Mario Kart was like the first kart game. There probably was one, and then Mario Kart stole it, and then revisionist history. just like people think Nintendo's the first console. It's like there was no Atari or ColecoVision. What the fuck was that? Mega Man for Game Boy, Phantasy Star 3. All right, look at that. Turbo Graphics 16, Game Boy, Game Gear, the Lynx.
The Lynx.
Meow. Yep, the meow. The Lynx. I know it, but I don't know it. Was it a handheld?
It was a handheld, I believe. Yeah.
I should have put game because I'm looking at a cat right now.
Which is funny because I always thought whenever I thought
And
of
when I put
Lynx, I thought
game,
about
I'm
the
looking
game.
at a WNBA team. Okay,
Look
so
up Lynx console.
okay, yeah.
It's the prototype for the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah. Because it's also got buttons. Like, it's got an A and a B button, but it's got it on the top and the bottom, so you can play it left or right-handed because it has a flip button for the screen, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Do you got on your screen looking at these other handhelds right here? To get the RG351P handheld, $112 on Amazon.
What is that?
I don't know. It must got some bullshit game. Maybe it's like just Android like games on this shit.
Yeah. That's all we need. Android games.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and the big one that Daniel wants me to mention.
Yes.
The 35th anniversary of Metroid.
Somebody's got to acknowledge it because Nintendo's out here just sending fucking tweets and that's it.
I know. Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Assholes.
I mean, it's one of the big franchises. At least, I mean, is it
In
big
America
over
it
in
is,
Japan?
Kind of. No, it's not. That was kind of the problem is like nobody ever cared about it over there.
My brother had this game. I didn't know how to play it because it's not a game that is like levels. So I did not understand at the time he had this. Now, this game came out in America, you say next year, right? So
Yeah.
So it'll be 35 years next year for the U.S. But yeah, like I could not get anywhere in this game because it was complicated for shit. How old was I?
Dominic is still complicated for me.
2 years?
If it weren't for like maps and shit, because this game had no map, like I wouldn't have beat it when I went back and played it. Like, a couple years
that's
ago.
right. But no, my brother got the Nintendo Power. I think that's why he get his maps. I think he had it. Because I remember Nintendo Power when I used to look at the magazines. I couldn't read them, but I would see like the whole levels. You know how they put it, like you see the whole. Yeah,
they were good about that. Their walkthroughs were always good.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, Metroid. I did get the first Metroid I got was 2. That was on Samus Returns on the Game Boy, and I was older. Still didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, still hard. Still hard.
End up giving that game to somebody else to get Kirby.
Yeah,
to get traded. I traded him. I said, "This is cooler. Look, it's more serious. Look at this dude." I called it dude. I didn't know it was a girl. And it wasn't until
he's got a gun.
High school I knew it was a girl. I never saw it because I never saw the things talk about the ending of the game. You know, like when she took the helmet off. I never beat the game, and there wasn't things. The internet. I wasn't watching videos or stuff like that, so I didn't know she was a girl. And then I just remember reading it in a magazine, something like, "Oh yeah, Final Samus was a girl." Like it was a good reveal. I said, "What? That thing's a woman? I thought it was a robot." All right, but yeah, you want to say something because it's 35th anniversary, right?
Yeah, I mean that first game is rough. Even going back to it, I mean, especially going back to it now because it didn't have a map. It wasn't linear, so you know it was extremely hard to navigate. You kind of either had to make your own map or buy a strategy guide or something like that. But as far as like genre defining things, it is still top tier as far as creating that exploration non-linear kind of action game that it is. So yeah, at the beginning of what is one of my favorite series.
Remember. Yeah, I wish my brother could remember that game. I mean, next time I talk to him, maybe I'll ask him if he can remember. Like, how did he play it? How did he? If he did beat, I don't know if he even beat it, but how did he play through it? Like, did he just make his own map? Because I think sometimes he did.
Yeah,
he had a notebook.
Paper.
Yeah, like I remember. Oh, my dad like on his PC games. My brother sometimes on a game. I see them. He used to always get a notebook out, like drawing something, and I guess that was the map they were doing. Now my dad, he used to play this game called Condor, and he'd be like the dungeons. I guess is just I don't know if they were random, but he didn't have a map for it, and you don't have a map, so he would be drawing it with his hand, like where he was going,
cool.
And then eventually, I think he said he found like online, people had made maps because he would print. I see a bunch of printouts of them, and I still, even with those maps, I didn't know what the hell I was doing in that game. Damn Condor. All right. So that is it for the flashback segment. When we take we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into the gaming news.
All right,
and we're back. So let's get into the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, big news for the PlayStation 5. All 5 of the owners of PlayStation 5s out there that are listening to this. So, Sony has finally added NVMe support, the little mini hard drive sticks that look like little pieces of gum. Added the support for that, so now you can finally expand the storage size of your PS5 so it can contain more than just like Call of Duty and one other game. That's good. The only problem is they didn't give like a list of like specific drives to get. And it's not like the Xbox where there's like a Xbox branded expansion thing. So they give like very specific things like you should get one with a heatsink because it gets hot, but also it can't be like this thickness. It has to be this. It's very weird. It's very stilted and very Sony-like in that way where it's like, you guys didn't fully think through this. But it is good that they're finally giving those people that option. I mean, that's outside of the pricing for those things right now, which is still pretty high, especially for the high-speed ones. You know, it's very much something I would want to do. I mean, that's basically what I did with my PS4 was get like a 2 terabyte drive, and up until like last year or something, I never had to worry about deleting games, which is always nice for me in my digital hoarder lifestyle. So finally got that going for them. It's so weird that it took them this long to actually implement that stuff though, Dominic. I mean, Xbox at least has had their expansion stuff in place since launch. So, but with that, Dominic, you will have some room for PS5 exclusives like Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Which you really not going to let me say anything on that?
Well, you didn't take the opportunity. I tried to pause, but not pause too long.
What did you pause? Oh, maybe I was reading something at the time. I didn't hear you pause. My fault.
You yell at me for dead air, Dominic. You yell at me for not pausing. I can't win.
All right, so why can't Sony, after 2 consoles, make it just easy just to put an external hard drive?
That's a good question. I mean, this one's more complicated. I will give them credit for because it's that fast storage. It's the NVMe stuff, the Gen 4. I don't know that you can do that over USB. That's why, Microsoft has that like very specific port in the back, which that makes it like proprietary. But I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, you can use I believe with the PS5, you can use an external hard drive, but you can only use it for PS4 stuff because it's not, speed rated for that other stuff. Yeah, it's difficult because, like, we see it with Microsoft and Sony. Like, they both went in kind of the opposite direction of where, like, Microsoft gives you a very specific thing that you can get. You know it's going to work. You know it's going to be up to the speed that you want it to be. But it's a proprietary thing that theoretically more manufacturers will be able to do in the future. They just had a deal with Seagate off the bat. And again, it's a proprietary thing, so who knows? Maybe Western Digital will come out with something or whatever other hard drive manufacturers. I mean, at this point with NVMe drives, it's anybody that makes RAM basically. So it's not just traditional hard drive manufacturers. But Sony gives you the openness of, allowing you to put basically any high-speed NVMe drive in there, but also doesn't. It's more of like a tinkerer's kind of thing or a do-it-yourself kind of thing, right? Where it's like you have to be a little more invested in the ecosystem in the world to understand what drives you can just drop in there. But for those people that are, it's, maybe a little better because you can find those drives slightly cheaper because there is competition there because they're just PC drives. So, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, the pricing on those Xbox ones isn't terrible. but also right now it's only like 1 terabyte. So you can buy, if you had the money, 2 terabyte NVMe drives, as far as I'm aware, possibly even more space at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's when you get into like, oh, you're paying the cost of the console to get more storage for this thing. So yeah, it's complicated, but I'm glad they finally at least got that far, and hopefully they get to a point where they just say, hey, we've tested these drives and these are ones that, we know will fit in that space and we recommend you using and won't overheat or anything like that. Because, that's going to get them in trouble if somebody puts a drive in there and it overheats and freaking melts something or catches fire, God forbid. So,
like, they rushed this console out there. Because why couldn't they test all this stuff before? I feel like this could be tested before. You could have had a partnership with somebody of like, hey, this works with the PS5. And
this is a branded one. We're going to make it blue so that it's a PlayStation thing. Yeah,
like you could partner with. It doesn't have to be yours. It could be partnered with another company, most likely, and for the official one made by whatever. And
like Hori does with Nintendo stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Here's this thing that's licensed by us.
This will work. Like this, that one will work, and you won't have a problem with it.
Well, when it finally launches in 2021, and all these people who have had them prior to us are just beta testing them, we'll know why, Dominic.
Yeah.
This is the early access phase for these consoles right now.
See, Daniel, it's a trickle-down fucking effect. It started with the games. Now, like, basically early access, but then they just start putting full-blown games, and them just being updated to be totally different what they were. When you bought the game, like, you got to do a big patch because, like, we got to fix some things. And then months later, it'd be like, we got to fix some more things. And then it's like, okay, now the game is good. It's like, the game can run good and everything. And now it's carried over to the consoles. Then they're going to do consoles like, okay, we didn't test everything out yet, so we're just going to put this out there. And then we're going to add things, as time go on.
Exactly. Speaking of reasons why these consoles shouldn't necessarily be out, Dominic, we got another delay here. We got Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's being delayed only about a month, though. So from August 24th to September 21st. The developer basically said they just use that time to polish it up a lot more and get it moving.
Take a nap.
Yes, to finally get some rest. Yes, this poor developers have been working tirelessly. Speaking of developers, I'm sure working tirelessly, Horizon Forbidden West. There's nothing official out there yet, but there are some heavy rumors out there right now suggesting that this game will not launch this year and will be pushed back into 2022. Now, I could see that, like, God of War came out in like a March or a May or something, right? I could see that being... And I mean, even the original game, I think, came out around that same time. So I could see that happening. But with that being the case, does PlayStation have another big title this year? I mean, Microsoft doesn't necessarily have. Yeah, Kena, obviously, as we just discussed. But do you think that's enough? Do you think is there anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
And thing is, I just want to know, do you have to? Or are people just going to try to buy one anyway?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen over the past year, they're just going to try and buy one. There haven't been much in the way of.
But like I see on the internet, a lot of people are saying this makes it so much easier for me not to buy one now. Mm-hmm. Like, even if I could buy one, it's like, I don't care. It's like, it's not a big deal that they're limited. Ain't really nothing to play on it. I mean, it's not enough to play on it right now. That. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like, I can wait. Like, they'll want it, but I can wait because the big games is not out yet. Or the games that people really want to play, not out. Or it's just like one game maybe they want to play, so it's not worth getting the new console yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's how it was for me, is like Ratchet and Clank is there, obviously. And I'd like to play Spider-Man in the best possible fashion, but without a fancy TV, I don't know that my experience would really be that much different between playing on PlayStation and PS5.
I think it will. Load times.
That is very true. Load times. I forget about that.
It's just like someone mentioned that yes, we look at these games that are getting delayed, and that's fine. It got to be delayed. It got to be delayed. But now it's to a point that we are getting games that are on previous consoles on the second year. I mean, the first year, like first year and some months when the console's been out. I don't know if that happened before. Like the big games are also played on the previous console. That's why it's not a big deal. Like it doesn't. You're not totally hurt by not having a PS5. You can still play the game. The only one is Ratchet and Clank, really, or in Demon Souls. Demon Souls, and
but that's also a game that you could theoretically play the original one of.
Oh least. yeah, but and so it's not that bad. I mean, it's like for me where I'm at financially, that's great. I say good. I can still play games. Just like on Xbox, I'm happy that yes, all those games they don't even look better on other consoles. At least I can still play them. It's like PS5. I'm like, I can play on PS4 if I really want it. And I'll just be able to play them in their best way when I get a PS5 someday. Even though I'm still very confused about the upgrades of some games, because it seems like some games I gotta pay money to see it look good on a PS5, where I don't have to do that on an Xbox. That I totally disagree with. I do not like that. And for people to be okay with it, I see a lot of people okay with it, more than I thought I would. And I'm thinking, like, y'all would fucking shit on Xbox if they did that. I just find it really funny. I'm not seeing a lot of pushback. Like, people are understanding, like, I understand why they charge. I'm like, what the fuck? I already paid $60 for it. Why? I got your console. I'm gonna be paying money in your ecosystem. So why the fuck you gonna charge me again, man? Yeah. Like, come on. I don't know. I totally disagree with that. But this is like good/bad news. Like it's like, hey, good for people who don't have the consoles. Like, hey, what the hell? I can wait on getting it. I can wait on putting down $500. Or it's bad for the people who do have the consoles. Like, why did I get this? Or like, right. I'm only playing this many games. Like, I'm playing the same games that people are playing on my PS4 on a PS4.
Yeah.
It's just
extending the messiness that has been this entire launch. Because like you said, like, how often are you able to play the big titles months and years into the release of the new consoles? Usually support is dropped for them. You know, you'll get your sports titles still coming out.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, but you're not seeing these big titles.
Like by this time, Gears came out for Xbox. You ain't playing that nowhere else.
Yeah.
And but I mean, they're getting Halo, but Halo is played on the last gen. Right. Sony, they don't have it. Things we thought are not. They are actually playful on both.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're going to get that real big game? I mean, the biggest one is Ratchet and Clank. Even though Daniel, I'm convinced that you couldn't probably do. You couldn't do some things in that game on the PS4. But I think that game could have still been on a PS4. It just would have been not. You couldn't be too seamless, or it would have just been long. The load time at the beginning would be very long, like, because they got to put everything in there so it can be seamless. I think it could have worked. I think it was all like easier, so you didn't have to bother. But I think if they really wanted to, I think it could have worked.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. Yeah.
So I haven't really seen that. Well, besides that game, I mean, it is exclusive. I haven't seen that game that's truly next gen. Like Returnal can be played, man. I mean, it looks good, but I feel like it could be. I could see it slightly worse.
Oh yeah,
on a PS4.
I don't see much about that game that convinces me that it's next gen only. And maybe part of that is like we're just not really gonna see a game like that because of the way these consoles are basically iterations of the previous one. And you know, we'll see ray tracing that's impressive or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, you could just turn off that ray tracing and this could be a PS4 game, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get something that's truly shocking at some point, Dominic. But
so 2022, fall 2022, maybe that's where like the real first year will be.
Yeah. I can't help but wonder if it's going to be like, it's not going to be a graphics thing. It's going to be a gameplay thing. Like, you know, no loading seamless. I mean, almost like what it sounds like Spider-Man is basically very little, almost non-existent loading times up front, and also no loading time throughout the game. But like just in a huge Witcher-esque, Skyrim-esque world, there's got to be something that's just going to be revolutionary.
Yeah.
That, you know, will blow us away.
When they do have loading on these newer consoles and it's quick, but you know the loading screens have these messages. You gotta you gotta change it. Then you gotta change it to a point where hit A to continue, or something, or change some way to convey that message you were trying to show.
I was gonna say convey it in the world or something, because I'd rather have that than
just keep pressing
click
A
through my loading screen.
Yeah, because you keep coming up because you can just go to the next scene. So you gotta convey something differently, because it's like some things they be talking about on the screen. I'm like, oh, what's this about? And then like Yakuza or something. But then if I'm playing on the Series X, man, that thing's quick. I see it and then it's gone, and I was like, oh, all right. So what else we got, man?
So we got another delay, Dominic. This time we got the Evil Dead game, which has officially been delayed from 2021 to February 2022. So
okay,
this could be competing with Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, I guess. What is your interest
some
level
other games?
in that game?
I keep hearing a lot of things in 2022. I just forget what it is.
Yeah, basically everything at this point. Yeah, anything that doesn't have like a very firm release date at this point for 2021, which still feels like there are a lot of games around the edges. Just like
technically Halo doesn't.
That's true, and I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to come out this year either. No, they're announcing controller colors. I feel like they're committed to this release date now, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is committed.
But still, like, when do they announce that then?
Maybe they're trying to figure out where other games are being released. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the thing, right? Is like once you see that Horizon has been delayed, you're like the next day you come out with your press release about when Halo's coming out or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe trying to figure out when Call of Duty's being announced. I mean,
that's true. We know
they don't have it
about
announced either, right?
For this, no
official one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said on like their earnings call or something that there is a Call of Duty coming this year. But yeah, there's no official announcement about it so far that we're aware of. You know,
we would know when the date is coming out now.
Usually, yeah, it's pretty weird.
It happens at E3, at least.
Maybe they got those Tony Hawk guys in there helping out, and they were like, they fucked up and turned it into a Tony Hawk game somehow. So they're skateboarding, and we got to get rid of this. I don't know, like some kind of infectious disease or something. Yeah. So, speaking of games that we don't know when they're coming out, Dominic, the South Park guys, Matt and Trey Stone, Matt Parker, is that right?
Yeah,
that sounds right. Those guys have signed an extension on their contract with Viacom, and they're going to be doing 6 more years of South Park, the television show, as well as, I think they said like 13 or 14 streaming things, which sounds like a lot as far as like, because they made it sound like they were movies, but I am not convinced that they're going to make that many.
I heard that movie, but it could just end up being like Imagination Land, like a
long form.
Long one.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, something like that. But along with that it sounds like they are working on a new South Park game as well. I believe the description of it was a 3D game. Obviously they've released phone games and whatnot, but if they were to do a new console game, what setting would they do? Because they've done their fantasy thing now. They've done their superhero thing. I mean, I guess you could do like an Imagine Land thing. Is there any other kind of theme that they've used in the past that you would
in
pop
the past, I don't No. Yeah, I can't think of something.
Yeah, because those were
Barbra
kind of their
Streisand,
two big
something?
things.
The monster?
Yeah,
No.
Mecha Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
They could do like kaijus or something, maybe. Tie that into, I don't know.
I'm trying to think
like,
about pop
create a new
culture what
episode.
could be kind of in there.
That's what I was thinking, but like the thing that pops in my head is like election stuff, and I don't know if you want to tie yourself to that, especially
because it has
after
to be
the fact.
recent. It
Yeah.
has to be something to really be recent. Maybe zombies. I don't know. Something more along the lines of scary.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, even the first game was so dense with stuff for that whole oeuvre, I guess you could say. I mean, what did they do in that second one as far as, like, the town and keeping it interesting outside of, obviously, like, the superhero
I can't
stuff?
remember because it's been a while, but, I mean, it was still interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, maybe it's something that doesn't have to be a huge theme, but maybe it's just a story there that...
Yeah. Weed related, Dominic. It's going to be weed related. Happiness Farms. I think as part of that contract, they did also talk about like a weed strain that they're going to be doing or something like that. So
okay,
that's not entirely surprising, I guess. I don't know how that would go over with console makers. Could you release a weed game on Nintendo Switch? I don't know. But one of these days, I have to get around to playing that second game. It seemed like it was.
I feel like Nintendo. There's probably a lot of games.
They just don't care
like
anymore.
Indie games. That that
some of that stuff is real bad on the eShop.
Yeah,
there's a lot of booby games on there now.
Yeah, because that eShop just looks like Steam now, man. Mm-hmm. Like just a whole bunch of junk.
It really does. Yeah, they need to. I don't know. Can you section that stuff off at least? Like, I don't know. Do they need more categories or better? I don't know. I don't know what you do. Better curate that stuff. I mean, that's just the problem, right? When everybody wants to release on your thing, just like Steam, like how do you keep that organized and surface the good stuff without necessarily putting your thumb on the scale, I guess, is what Steam's excuse always is, right? Like they're like, oh, we don't want to mess this stuff up. We want it to be natural. It's like, okay. But here you got the game where you play as a Nazi killing school children. It's at the top of your list. Is that all right with you? Yeah.
And then these girls that look like freaking 14-year-olds, and like these stories, sex stories and shit. Those anime girls.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the coming years. I wonder what studio they would work with now that Obsidian is now with Microsoft. And I know Obsidian didn't do the second one either, but it was still Ubisoft, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. Ubisoft's got its own
go back
things
to Acclaim.
Does Acclaim still exist?
I don't know. I don't think so.
In name form only, maybe. It's probably like a holdings company or some bullshit now. All right, Dominic. Speaking of Ubisoft, they are teaming up with Bungie to go after Ring 1, which is a subscription service for cheats and aimbots and stuff. This company is very audacious in that they are asking for like as little as, and I put that in air quotes, £25 up to I think like £75 a week for cheats. Yes, a week. Now the one I was looking at was like not Dead Island. What was it? The Dead by Daylight. It was like £25 a week or £50. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, £50 a month, because obviously that'd be almost half price because there are 4 weeks in a month.
So wait a minute. Like they'll keep updating that cheat. Like if there's something happens.
I mean, I would imagine that's why they're. Well, I mean, obviously there's reasons why they're requesting money, but that's why it would be worthwhile to someone, right? Is like as a subscription service, is that if they patch out whatever latest cheat or ability to use an aimbot or whatever. I don't really know how that stuff works, to be honest with you. As far as aimbots, is that something that is like controlling your mouse cursor in a way that is weird, or is that something on the actual game side of things?
I don't know either. Like, this type of cheating, like, I disagree with, because it's the multiplayer and
right. Yeah, exactly.
And well, not just small. Like, it's multiplayer. I mean, multiplayer.
Yeah, you're affecting
versus
other people's ability to enjoy the game by using these kind of cheats. It's not
exactly
enhancing your experience necessarily.
Yeah, if it was a single player, you enhance your experience, fine. Even though I don't agree, like, there are places where subscription service for just that too, which I don't do, because I'm like, I'm not going to pay for it. Like, if it was like when I could just pay for one thing and get all these cheats, and like a Game Shark or Action Replay, then yeah. But no, I'm not like these be Patreons or hey, pay for this in a month or get the year pass. I'm like, oh, nah, man. I said, I ain't going to do that. I said, I don't feel right paying you guys for that. I mean, I don't mind give a little donation here, like, man, like something, like say, okay,
tip jar
like
kind of stuff. Like, thanks for your work.
But like a Patreon, like I pay. It's like, come on, man. I said, can't just there's somewhere I can just give you $5 every now and then. Yeah. So they should go after these guys, because this is freaking the way they did it. I mean, they're just out there. So I don't know how long,
and they're using
like
around. Their art assets on their website and everything too. Like it's blatant. Like, I don't know how you got away with it for as long as they have.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That's crazy.
Perfect sense for those two studios to band together and try to take them down, especially when like two of their biggest games, Destiny and Rainbow Six Siege, are being, manipulated for this stuff. Yeah. All right, Dominic. Now we get into the darker side of video games here. First up, we got Pokemon Go. Niantic has rolled back like their social distancing stuff. So at the beginning of the pandemic, in order to play Pokemon Go while also, remaining in quarantine and respecting people's social distances, they had done things like doubled the range of gyms and Pokestops and stuff like that. So if it was like 40 meters, it would be 80 meters and stuff like that. And everybody was loving that. Also remote raids and things of that nature. But now they have just rolled that stuff back, and fans are, of course, pissed about that.
Why?
And basically because it was a quality of life thing, basically, right? Like, it made it easier for the game to be played and enjoyed instead of having to go to these specific places to do this thing, even though that's kind of the basis of the game. But, I'm sure that's going to be Niantic's
pandemic
argument.
Is over, people. It's over.
I mean, there's also that, right? Is like, we're not really necessarily out of the woods yet, so it's maybe not time to start rolling this stuff back.
Yeah, we really aren't, but whatever. Like, people, I don't know. They're requiring some places for kids to wear masks. That seems to be a problem. Like, I was thinking, like, that's minimum. Yeah, that's like minimum, right? Just the kids wearing the mask. Because I was thinking, like, they like kids of a certain age would have to be, get a vaccine or something, or like they're not forcing anything on them. They're just telling them they have to wear a mask. And these parents, man, they are angry.
Yeah,
by that.
It's sort of weird, right? Because like there are vaccinations that are required to be in schools, right? But I guess, then you get into the argument for this one specifically where it's like, it's not FDA approved yet. And, it's been rushed through allegedly and blah, blah, blah. And all the arguments that you hear about this stuff. So like mandating that kids actually get it, if they're 12 or older. I think that's the age cutoff limit right now. I could see that being, an issue. But yeah, like, you can't make my child wear a mask all day, Dominic. Yeah, that's how all this child predators get them.
At this meeting, like, said, we want a recount on the vote. To fight for a right. She was angry. They got these shirts saying, like, unmask our kids or something like that. And
there's also like this weird thing that's happening, I think, especially in like Florida right now, obviously being one of those kinds of states where a lot of people are tying making children wear masks to like sex trafficking and things of that nature. So that's kind of their reasoning behind not wanting their children to wear a mask, because it makes it easier for people to kidnap them, I guess, basically, and move them around without being, noticed, I guess. So I don't know. It's weird out there, Dominic.
Yeah, they find those excuses for not wearing a mask, and that's a good one. It's like, hey, we found something. Maybe we got this loophole, so we have to force people to wear a mask anymore.
That's pretty good. Let's say you can't take my guns away. People are going to kill my kids. Basically, protection of kids is always a good excuse to not do or to do something, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. It's, people are going to do what they do. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, but the Pokemon, it's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess they figured, it's just making it too easy, so we gotta make it harder for them. I guess this is hurting them financially. Is them catching Pokemon like this? Is it?
Well, I think I've seen some people, and it's pure speculation, but speculate basically like the way a company like Niantic makes their money is through selling your location data. And by you actually being at a place and gathering more specific data instead of, a larger swath of, range, maybe makes them more money. So,
I guess. That's...
At the same time, it's like if these quality of life things are good, you get more people playing the game and you can make more money off your weird loot box egg Pokeball thing, right?
See, it's kind of insidious. When like they make money from location data. I mean, that means there's probably a lot of games that do that, and like they just, hey, it's a fun little game, but we're really trying to get some data for other things.
100%, absolutely. I mean, that's why, to their credit, you'll see Apple, do stuff as far as what kind of things are tracked as far as your phone data, right? Like if a game requires access to your call logs or something like that, that's, this game isn't going to do anything with my call logs, but it's using that information to do God only knows what, to sell to God only knows who, So they are doing that, and Android does similar things, but I know Apple gets a lot of credit for their kind of privacy stances as far as that stuff goes. So, I mean, it's insidious. And especially when you then layer on top of that, well, they're making money off of that, but also they want money from these loot boxes and other things of that nature. Yeah, it's real bad, Dominic. I mean, it seems like phone games in general are real bad about just, taking your information and selling them without your permission. So, continuing our trip down the Badlands of video games, Dominic, and this one's unfortunate in a lot of ways because Fulbright, company behind games like Gone Home and the upcoming Open Roads, one of the co-founders, Steve Gaynor, has stepped down from his creative lead role due to some allegations of a toxic work environment. It sounds like over the past year and a half, basically, they've had 15 people leave, predominantly women. And this stuff doesn't sound necessarily like it's sexual harassment. It's more just bad management, I guess you could say. A lot of controlling and demeaning behavior is how it was described in the Polygon article that I was reading.
Someone was misogynistic, like he's just treating the woman
Now, there was some talk of that, like women being more micromanaged. We saw that as part of the Blizzard stuff that we talked about previously as well, where it was, that kind of thing. It sounds like they had taken action to have him. It sounds like originally they noticed that this was a thing that was happening when they were starting to lose a lot of employees, and they took steps to maybe mediate that with him in that position, and that stuff didn't work out. So then he was, asked to or forced to step back. And that was done around March before it became, what it is now, public allegations. So it sounds like Fulbright was making some attempts to, figure this out. But some of the stuff, I think Polygon talked to like 12 of the 15 people that had left the company, and they basically corroborated the story, saying that, a large portion of the reason why they left was Steve Gaynor's behavior. And a big problem with a company like that you're going to see that's a smaller company is they don't have a dedicated HR department for you to go to. So even if, the old adage holds true that HR is there to protect the company and not you, there's still no official way for you to log a complaint against someone or, document the history of what's happening with your situation. And you don't really have an outlet, which leaves you to leaving,
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
I really hope it's just, and you see it all the time. There are some people that just aren't fit to be managers. And hopefully it's just kind of a case of that. Like he's not good at that aspect of it, but he's still a relatively upstanding human being and citizen, and he can, continue to work on this game and make it the best game possible whilst also not alienating people on his team. Because it sounds like right now they're down to a group of about 6 people, and that gets a little rough to release a game once you're losing 15 plus people out of what sounds like maybe a 20 or so team of people. So
yeah, because some of these guys, they were like who will become to the top position. They were the programmers or or some creative background and working in games. Just got up to the top, but it doesn't mean they're good at managing, though.
Right?
Like maybe they've been there first early in the company, and they just they were able to move up and get to higher spaces. But yeah, maybe it just ain't good at managing. I don't know. I mean, it's all just speculation, but I mean. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that it came to that.
Absolutely. All right, Dominic. And then we've got new revelations from the last time that we talked about the Activision Blizzard stuff. Since then, there's been numerous things happening. One, Bobby Kotick, the president, CEO, whatever he is at Activision Blizzard, he basically released a statement saying like that initial statement where they were calling like this case that was brought against Activision Blizzard bullshit is maybe a bad look for us. So I'm going to pretend like we're actually going to do something. So he vowed to bring in a third party that was going to assess the situation and figure things out. I know there were some people that weren't happy about that because the people that they brought in were associated with other terrible things, union busting and stuff of that nature. I can't really speak to that. I mean, there's got to be at some level where, like, if you're a corporation as big as Activision Blizzard, you're probably only dealing with lawyers and, corporate lawyers the size of a certain size that probably all are active in measures such as union busting and things of that nature. Unfortunately. So I can't say anything to that. But the biggest revelation recently was J. Allen Brack, the head of Blizzard specifically, has stepped down.
Because he was appalled at what this company has become. That's why, right?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. No, so he's the long-haired guy you might have seen from like the Diablo Immortals presentations and things of that nature, if you're not entirely familiar with Blizzard. It sounds like he was basically kind of forced out as kind of maybe a scapegoat is what the word is going around. I know there's a lot of people saying like they're also using this as a way to maybe ingrain Activision mentality more into Blizzard than previously had happened, because there was a while there after the merger where it was like, oh, Activision still, or Blizzard is still able to do their own thing and work autonomously as their own entity.
Yeah.
Without kind of the oversight of like a Bobby Kotick kind of person. Obviously we're seeing now that wasn't necessarily a good thing. But he is being replaced by two people. They will be taking over as co-leaders, Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra. Jen O'Neill is actually from Vicarious Visions. I'm not sure about Mike Ybarra, but we saw last year that, Vicarious Visions got swallowed up and is, no longer working on Tony Hawk stuff and is now a support studio for Call of Duty, just like everything else at Activision, it seems like. And these are steps, at least there's something happening there. There was a walkout that happened, I believe it was 2 weeks ago now, the week after we recorded last.
Yeah.
That some Blizzard employees took place in, as well as other developers around the world, it sounds like, as well, kind of as a show of solidarity.
Yeah, I walked out too on the Superpod podcast. So
yes, that's why we didn't record last week. Wasn't my fault. Yeah, so there's some movement here. There's some other revelations coming out. I think we didn't really talk as much about. I think we talked about the Cosby stuff, but then pictures came out of like guys chilling on a bed with a portrait of Bill Cosby in this alleged Cosby suite. I'm still trying to figure out, and I think I asked this on the last podcast and haven't gotten an answer to it. Was the portrait in there, or did they bring the portrait? Because I feel like if they brought the portrait, that says all we need to know about what's happening here in this situation.
They said they did it before, though.
Okay.
They did this before Cosby had allegations.
That's
what they're saying, and then it just.
Because I did see them say something like, "Oh, it's a joke about like the decor of the room. It looked like a Bill Cosby sweater or something like that." But no. I can see that, but they said the joke did change. Oh, okay.
After the allegations,
gotcha.
The joke did change. It wasn't just about it looked like a Cosby room.
Mm.
So it did turn to be something worse.
So they started it before, but then it got bad, and they were like, you know what? We're on board with this. We're going to evolve the joke into a rape joke. That's not any better. So yeah,
allegedly,
yes, yeah. So it's bad there, and it's something we didn't really talk about because I don't know that it warranted it at the time of when we first started talking about this. But I was talking to one of the guys at work the other week after these allegations came out, who is a huge World of Warcraft guy. Like he still plays the game, the latest expansion came out a little bit ago. But he was talking about it in that fashion of like, no wonder these games have been shit for the last 5 years because, all these guys have been playing Call of Duty and pushing their work off onto women and stuff like that. And it's like, I guess I never thought about it from like the true gamer perspective of, like this business is also just ruining my games. I was always thinking of it as like the human interest story, but I guess there is that layer of it too, right? Where it's like,
oh, so pushing the work on a woman because a woman can't make games well. And that's why shit. That's what
I don't think that's not where it was going with it. Although, as I was thinking about it in my head, like to bring this up, I was thinking like that could be a way that someone takes it as like, oh yeah, no wonder the game's crap. It's not that just fewer people are working on it, but the people that aren't as good at making games are working on it now. But no, I do not believe that is the way he intended to show it or say it. It's not the way I took it. Definitely did think about it that way, though. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously there are multiple layers to this where it's like, obviously there's the human interest story, and something needs to happen in video games, because this is not the first story. It's not going to be the last story. but hopefully it can be closer to the last story. Hopefully this does push people closer to unionizing. There were, in addition to the walkout, there was basically like a list of demands, presented by employees from Activision Blizzard, basically saying that they wanted, better representation of how things are handled there at the company, and among other things, basically equal pay and things of that nature. So there are, in my head at least, steps towards like, hey, they are this is basically unionizing. Like we're taking those steps without doing the official paperwork. So maybe let's get to the point where we're just doing the official paperwork and getting everybody
demand that there
on
be
board.
a Warcraft 4 coming out.
It'll never come out, Dominic, all because of the unions. You're going to blame the unions. So, yeah, it's real rough out there right now. There's just more stuff coming out as we talked about with the Steve Gaynor stuff. Unfortunately, there is just all around the video games industry. So something needs to change. And unfortunately, the people who are, being most affected by it have to be able to do something to change that. They're responsible in a lot of ways for their own destiny, and we can be allies and support them, but there's not a whole lot that we can do from our positions if they aren't also willing to, in some cases, make sacrifices to make this stuff happen. It's unfortunate. So we will see. We will continue to cover this as it proceeds, but so far seems like there's things happening over there, whether they be good or bad, we will see the results of, but has yet to bear fruit quite yet, Dominic. So did you have any comments on that otherwise, or see anything else in the news you want to talk about?
Oh no, I mean, I hope something comes good out of this.
Absolutely.
Like and at other places. Oh, something good comes out of it.
Looking at you, Ubisoft. Any other news before we get into the PlayStation Plus and Games for Gold this week?
Nah. I guess nope. No other news.
All right. So for PlayStation Plus this month, Dominic, we have Hunter's Arena Legends. That's a battle royale game with melee stuff.
Darn, another battle royale.
Seemed like people were not happy when they announced that was going to be the game this month. And that's the PS5 exclusive one. So if you don't have one of those yet and possibly want to play this game in the future, go to the website and activate that on your account. And then you have Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, Dominic, and Tennis World Tour #2.
So I don't know if there's cross-play for Battle for Neighborville. I have no idea. I mean, if there is, I wouldn't think the Switch version would be, because they get a lot of free stuff that the other versions don't. Because the Xbox, I didn't notice any free stuff when I got back in there recently. I forgot to mention. I know I mentioned it. I mentioned it like a few weeks ago. I didn't notice any free stuff like they did with the Switch version. Like, I want to try the Switch version just to see what you get. Like, what do you get that? Because like I said, I still don't like the way you unlock things. But if there is crossplay, then that means the player base is bigger now. I mean, because technically, you can play this game if you got Game Pass.
Yeah. It looks like there is not crossplay,
Game Pass Ultimate anyway. What'd you say?
It looks like there is not crossplay, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Oh, but then it don't matter.
Yeah.
No, well, it's just good for them that they got PlayStation people gonna be getting it for free, and they already had the Game Pass Ultimate where people were playing it.
Man,
so
this guy is going in hard on them. This is from March. He said, unfortunately, Battle for Neighborville is a dead game. The Switch version is just a money grab for EA, since Battle for Neighborville on the other platforms was a huge disappointment and was canceled in August 2020, less than 1 year after release. Besides a few random bugs fixes, the Switch version, we will not see any updates or added content. Really a shame, as Battle for Neighborville was a great game. They just didn't take much input from players and fix things, which they could have. Battle for Neighborville still has many issues on the other consoles they didn't take care of. Shame on EA.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better game than 2, but it's not the improvement that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you're going to keep it, those microtransactions, fine. But I'd like the card pack system from the last game better than what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Darn.
All right. And then for games for gold, Dominic, we've got Darksiders 3, Yooka-Laylee, Lost Planet 3, and Garu Mark of the Wolves.
We got Lost Planet 2 recently also free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay.
Got to finish that collection, Dominic.
Lost Planet 3. I don't know how that was received. I think it was, mediocre?
Yeah, mediocre.
And what the hell was Mark of the Wolves?
That's a fighting game, SNK. I don't know if Terry Bogard's in that one, but like that kind of fighting game. Like King of Fighters.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I did try out that Guilty Gear game.
Oh, really? How's that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that Strive?
Yeah, Strive,
Okay.
yes. Because the last one was Zerd, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it looks good, like visually,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how to play. I don't know how to do anything yet. I mean, I haven't played much of it, so I got to go through that tutorial where it tells me bit by bit, like how to do moves and things, because I wasn't doing anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it looks great, like visually. I like the look of it, like that anime look. It doesn't. It runs differently than DBZ fighters.
Oh, really?
It's not as fast as that. But it's like, I think it's based more on timing and blocks. I mean, maybe it's a different type of strategy, but it doesn't feel, or maybe that's just the character I had. Maybe he's just cumbersome, but it feels different.
Mm.
I haven't looked up reviews on it or anything. I just saw it one time on a video, and I was like, oh, this game looks good.
Gotcha.
All right. Yooka-Laylee. Yeah. I mean, you played some of that.
Yeah, it was all right. Wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. I ended up liking that side scroller, I think, a little more than the original game.
And Darksiders 3, that was it was a little disappointing, people said.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I can try it out now.
Yeah. All right, Dominic, so we got new releases now. New releases, as you talked about earlier, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's now out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS4. I'm assuming you played it on the PC?
Yes.
How's that look? Because I was looking at a video earlier, and it seemed kind of jaggedy, more than I expected.
Oh, it was on a PC?
Smooth.
It looked good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So we got that. We also have Neo, The World Ends With You. That's the sequel to The World Ends With You, the Square Enix game that was on DS originally?
Yes, DS. Yeah, it was DS.
That's now on the Nintendo Switch and PS4. It seems like it's getting pretty good reviews from its Metacritic. It's got an 81 currently.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. We also got...
It's probably still a stupid story, though.
I mean, it's Square Enix down. Yeah. It's fully expected with your Japanese RPGs. Right. We also have Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's now out on the console, the Xbox Series X.
I mean, you say that with the Japanese RPGs, but I don't know about Yakuza. Like a Dragon, that's an RPG.
It's true. Also,
that story was good.
Your Trails in the Sky.
Yeah. I mean, they got some things in there. They got little problems.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, but they are better than them.
Yeah.
Where I don't get confused, where I say something that don't make sense.
Yeah. All right, we got that. We also have Tribes of Midgar. That's out on PC, PS4, PS5. That's kind of that top-down Viking-looking game. So that's out now. We also got, as you mentioned earlier, Dodgeball Academia for the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. That does look cool. I'm going to have to check that out. And
is your daughter happy with that game? Because I hear her screaming back there.
I think she's very unhappy with that game.
Oh.
Yeah. Glad you can hear that. After that, we got The Forgotten City, which you also mentioned, out now on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, and Xbox One. And also a Switch version of that is coming in Q3 2021, allegedly. So that's cool.
Wait a minute, what quarter are we in?
I think we are actually getting, are we in quarter 3 now? Let's see. It might be like now, right? Fiscal quarter. What fiscal quarter are we in? Let's see. According to Google, July, August, and September Q3. Yeah, so we'll see. Sounds like that's maybe not going to happen, but that's what their website says, Dominic.
Oh, no. They got weeks. I mean, they got a few more weeks in August.
They do have weeks. Yeah. Well, they also have September.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it makes sense if that's basically like a Skyrim. I mean, obviously, it's not a Skyrim add-on anymore. It's created its own thing. But if that's where the original target was, I could see that actually running on the Switch without too much trouble, you know. And then we have the Ascent, Dominic. That's out on the PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X consoles.
What's the Metacritic on that?
I think it's actually lower than I expected because I had heard kind of everybody talking about it on the podcast rounds this week. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's actually not doing as well as I would have expected based on...
Oh, they liked it?
It's been positive, I will say. The talk I had heard was positive.
Yeah, because I saw some reviews that they weren't great on it. Like, it wasn't as high, like I said, like what I would want it to be. Like, I mean, for a game that would be good. Like, I would think, it has some problems.
73 is on Metacritic.
Okay.
Right, so not terrible, but also not necessarily what I was expecting. Trying to see if there's anything. I always go to Metacritic.
Is Cyberpunk worth getting on the Xbox or PlayStation 4, the base consoles?
I'm going to say probably not. Still,
it's still not.
You gotta wait till that comes to Game Pass and you can play it streaming, Dominic.
Yeah, that's what I really hope it does, man. That's the only way.
Or play it on Google Stadia. That partnership. And try that out. Yeah, Game Informer gave the Ascent a 73. IGN Portugal gave it a 70. IGN proper gave it a 70.
Oh, okay.
IGN France gave it a 60, though. That's so funny. GameSpot gave it a 60. Yeah.
How about Israel?
Let's see. Is there an IGN Israel?
Because wasn't that the one that was complaining about? I mean, not complaining. Yeah,
well, I think it was just like their parent company. I think that's who took. Yeah, there is in Italy. They gave it an 85. They have far less standards, Dominic. No, I only read IGN Palestine, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, the Ascent is basically an RPG, but with isometric view and kind of dual stick shooting action instead of like a Diablo hack and slash kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it seems like a novel concept at least, but yeah, it seems like reviews are kind of middling on that one. So, but that's on Game Pass, right? So
yeah,
it's worth checking out if you have Game Pass and see if you like it or not. That's the beautiful thing about Game Pass, Dominic. All right. You got anything else for the week?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast that you may be currently listening to right now and enjoying all our gameplay. Dominic captures a lot of that, as well as like when we do the beginning of the month stuff. He always has the covers in there so you can see all the things that we're referencing. That's always fun. And all the other places you can find us, of course, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon stuff still in process, but Amazon Music should have us up there soon as well. And until next time, guys, see you later.
All right, see you.